Okay, noble colleagues. Sorry for that. Do I call it interlude? It's to serve you well. I want to be able to pick a pointer, so I have to go to a software. We are saying, you can see my pointer now. Okay, what we are saying is that depreciation in valuation relates to, using it as strategy or as an allowance to reflect the state of the asset. And that's what you see here. Okay, and that is the relevance of depreciation to us. In accounting, they expend it. We don't expend. Right? What we do is because if you are using cost method, for example, the information you will obtain from the market will be the cost of a new asset. The one you want to value is not new, right? So you have to reflect that state of the one you want to value. That's why you have to allow for depreciation. And if you come to my graphics here, see my graphics. This is a new asset. This is a new asset here. This asset I'm pointing to. And you see over a period of time, it depreciates. You can see it now. So if you now go to market, you want to value this asset, right? But when you get to market, you obtain the value, the cost of this, of the new one. The only way to reflect existing state of the one you want to value is to allow for what? The loss in value that has happened, which is what we call depreciation. So that is the essence of depreciation in valuation. Now, let's look at another slide. Still talking about depreciation, talking about the background, right? We have two categories of depreciation, two types. Under physical deterioration, there are some deterioration that are curable. There are some that are not curable. Like, let me go back to that first slide. If you see these equipment, this mobile crane, right? This mobile crane, this one that I'm moving, okay? This mobile crane, right, is old. Part of what you can see is that it has even lost the color, right? A lot of other things are deteriorated. So given that, it is not, the condition of this is not curable, such as to be measured. But let's say it's just maybe the tire that got faulty, or anything replaceable in the asset, right, that is faulty, then you can easily replace that. That is a condition of curable depreciation. So you have two types. Talking about types now. You have curable and you have incurable. You have curable, you have incurable. Curable is the one that can easily be fixed. It's economical to fix it. The moment it's fixed, the defect is corrected, right? The defect is addressed. That is curable. It does not mean that we don't measure that too, or we don't place value on curable depreciation. Placing value on curable depreciation is very simple. We do that by what? By an approach that is called cost to cure approach. Cost to cure approach. That's what you see me that I highlight here. Cost to cure approach, right? This is what we use to measure or to place value on curable depreciation. I give you graphics. Look at this pump. Look at that pump. This pump is for swimming pool. This pump has a capacitor on top of it. Let me pick my pointer to show you. Capacitor, right? With this capacitor, if this capacitor becomes faulty, it is a curable deterioration. Because I have another capacitor now here to replace it. You can see. The moment I remove this one is removed, and this one is placed into it. It restores the life of that pumping machine back, right? That means the defect is cured. That is curable depreciation. By evaluation, it's not your job to remove and fix. We are only saying that it is your job to treat that curable depreciation as what? Using cost to cure. Then what is cost to cure? Cost to cure is the cost of replacing the faulty part of the faulty item of your asset. The cost of replacing it. Cost of replacing it will therefore include what? Cost of purchase, of that capacitor in the case of this pumping machine, even transportation costs, then cost of the labor to fix it before it can now be in position and that the pumping machine is now, the life is now restored back such that it can be performing. Okay, that is curable depreciation. Again, I said you measure, you place value on that based on what? Based on cost to cure approach. So if you have questions, there are cases in the past, not in the recent time anyway, where they will feature both curable and incurable depreciation in one question, right? They give you an example maybe of a plant that maybe the control panel is faulty and can be replaced with so figure. You know that is curable. Then they now give you other conditions that will lead you to measure what? Incurable. So, noble colleagues, let's note that. Now, we are done with curable depreciation. So, with curable depreciation, you place value on it based on what? Cost to cure. And I'll explain what cost to cure is. The cost of getting that defect corrected, getting that defect fixed. Okay? Purchase of the spare parts, or cost of the spare parts, including cost of fixing it, if there is labor and all other things added together. So if you see in your question, you see all those elements, you add them together. That will give you your cost to cure. That is your cost to cure. Now, having done that, let's quickly see the other type of depreciation. Incurable. Incurable depreciation, the only way to bring it to your perception, for you to appreciate it, is simply put, element of wear and tear. Wear and tear resulting from usage. Wear and tear, the impact of usage. Majority of you are already making money in the field. Let me take you to land and building, particularly property management. You know, if you go to tenancy agreement, they will under tenancy agreement under internal repairing and insuring lease. The most common tenancy agreements in Nigeria today are under that kind of term of lease, internal repairing and insuring. You know, under that, the obligation of the landlord will be defined. Roof leakage and things like that, structural defects. Obligation of the tenant will be defined. And there is always a clause there. They will say reasonable wear and tear exempted. That reasonable wear and tear that has to be exempted, those are the ones that they cannot be fixed. Those are the ones that will come under what? Incurable physical deterioration. Those are the ones that you have to measure using various formula. Like, for example, your tiles is losing face. Your door is no more sparkling bright the way it is again. And things like that will come under what we call incurable depreciation. They emerge, they feature, they come up because of usage, because of exposure, because of impacts of use. Okay? So all these are what we call incurable depreciation. They are not things you can economically fix. They are not things we can correct easily. So they have to be measured. They therefore constitute what? For valuation purpose, they constitute loss in value. Now, with that, let's quickly see factors that influence depreciation. What is the propelling gear? If you see my graphics, I give you the picture of a gear to drive home my points. Propelling gear, what propels? What are the things that propel, emergence of depreciation? Things that make depreciation feature. So there I have the intensity of use. If an asset, you have two assets, one is intensively used, the other one is not intensively used, okay? Depreciation will not be the same. They will not depreciate at the same level. And that's why the question of effective year or effective age, is featuring more now in the literature. Okay, so then you have maintenance practice, type of maintenance, level of maintenance, maintenance culture, readiness to maintain, and maintainability even of that asset. All of these are issues we can discuss under maintenance practice. Okay, if you don't have maintenance culture, you only run to what do we call it? Run to die, right? you run your asset until it cannot perform again, the depreciation will be very, very high. In fact, it's going to have combination of curable and incurable altogether. Right? So maintenance is very, very important. As a matter of fact, the moment you inject maintenance into an asset, it renews the life of that asset, and it will therefore shorten the effective age of your asset. Right? So now, then we have exposure to environmental conditions. Depending on the type of exposure and the type of weather, right? There are assets that are not supposed to be exposed. So where such asset is exposed, it will deteriorate rapidly. Let me give you an example in terms of weather condition, particularly in Lagos. I don't know, maybe all other parts of the country. In Lagos mainland and Lagos Island have different environmental conditions, atmospheric condition, right? Those that are close to the Atlantic Ocean, right? They suffer heavy deterioration in terms of paints than the majority of us in the mainland. That is the effect of exposure. Then age, and apart from that, if there is accidental damage. All these are factors that influence depreciation, that propel, they are like the gear that propel depreciation to emerge. Okay, so it then means that we are at comfort zone now to be able to explain factors affecting or influencing depreciation. So at this point, let's quickly see how to calculate depreciation. How to calculate depreciation. In calculating depreciation, irrespective of whatever method you want to use, there are some basic inputs. We're having background noise. Please, everybody mute your microphone. Everybody, please mute your microphone so that you don't distract others. Be your brother's keeper. Thank you as we do so. Now, I was trying to say that irrespective of the method you want to apply or you want to adopt in calculating depreciation, there are some basic inputs, basic data that are very, very necessary. They are like factors that you have to consider, and they influence depreciation, right? They influence what amount of depreciation will be. These factors include the cost of the asset itself. You have to consider it. You will consider the useful life of the asset, the lifespan. You will consider the method, the choice of method. You will consider the choice of method and what I call terminal value. I choose to use the term terminal value here because you have two categories of terminal value, right? When we get there, I'll be discussing that further. You have two categories of terminal value. You have scrap value and you have salvage value. The two are terminal value. Okay? So now you have various types of methods that you can use to assess depreciation, to determine what depreciation is. Okay? So we'll be looking at those methods as we proceed now. But I think before we go into the methods, I equally see the need to discuss some basic concepts, basic terminology that we might need to be familiar with in relation to calculating depreciation. So one of it is what we call scrap or salvage value. Scrap or salvage value both are what? Both are typical example of what we call terminal value or residual value in depreciation, in the value of an asset, right? Both is either a terminal value will either be a scrap value or will be a salvage value. Now, what is the difference between the two? Often in literatures, even in books, even in your exams, you see these two being used interchangeably, right? They don't mean exactly the same. They are not the same in meaning. They share some common attributes, and the commonness of what they share is that both come at the end of the economic lifespan of the asset. Either a scrap value or a salvage value is a terminal value. It is a value of the remnants of the leftover of the asset. That then means that there cannot be a complete loss in value in the life of an asset. There will still be something that will be left, behind. Whether that thing will now be of usage or not is a different thing, and that's where the difference between scrap value and salvage value comes in. Where what the leftover can still have alternative use in an alternative process or an alternative business, right? Then it is a salvage value. Where the leftover of the asset at the end of the economic lifespan of that asset in an existing business, if that asset can still be used, or any part thereof, any part of the asset can still have utilization in any other alternative operation, then it is that asset is said to have what? Salvage value. But where the leftover is just the material content of the asset, just the mechanic content, the material content of the asset, nothing more than that. There is no any alternative usage in any other process or other business. Any part thereof is not useful for that, right? It's just the material makeup of it that you have as leftover. Then the value of that asset at the end of its economic lifespan is what? Scrap value. Okay, so you can see the distinction between the two. Please, if you see in your question, differentiate between scrap value and salvage value. Don't say they are the same, or don't say I don't know. At least you have had it now, right? Differentiating between scrap value and salvage value. But what is important on this slide, the relevance of the two, is that I need to use it to explain that it's not with scrap value or salvage value is the value of the remnants or leftover of an asset at the end of the economic lifespan of that asset. Because the whole asset will not escape into vacuum, there will still be something left over. That leftover might be a carcass. It is a carcass, it's therefore what? A scrap value. Right? Just the material content. So now, for purpose of depreciation, we are therefore saying that the entire cost of an asset cannot completely be lost because of usage, because there will still be what? A leftover, which is what I call residual value or terminal value in the form of what? Scrap value or salvage value. Now, what therefore is depreciable amount? Depreciable amount is the proportion of the cost of an asset that has to be written off or that can be written off with depreciation. That then, if you remember, I said the scrap value or salvage value is
hello, sir, please. Sorry, sir.
Yes, please.
Sorry, sir. Please, can you come again a little about depreciation amount, please?
I have not finished. Don't worry, I will explain. Depreciable amount. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. What I'm saying about the depreciable amount is that
is the proportion of
that is the quantum of the cost of an asset. The quantum of the cost of an asset, that part of the cost of an asset that has or can be written off with depreciation. If an asset worth 100 million, for example, don't forget that at the end of the lifespan of that asset, there will still be a leftover. Even though even if it's not no more functional, there will still be a leftover. That leftover will have what? Will have value. That value is scrap value. If the leftover is so that it can be pulled from the business or from the existing use and can have alternative use elsewhere, or it can be butchered and any part of it, right? Maybe a compressor or what have you, out of it can still be used elsewhere, then it's a salvage value. Those either scrap value or salvage value cannot be written off with depreciation. I think I have a slide that shows that. Let me quickly see. Okay, maybe on that straight line, but let me just lift that image. Let me take you to that aspect. Right? This is I will come back to this matter. I just want to show you this image. I use just simple graphics. See these graphics, right? What do? I take the whole of the length of these graphics to be the cost of the assets. Right? Now, and I take all those tranches in red to be what you can write off with depreciation. The other color here represents scrap value. That one will still remain whether you like it or not. It might be scrap, it might not be salvage, but there will still be something left over. So given that, therefore, it's not the entire cost of an asset that can be written off. From the entire cost of an asset, the proportion, the part, the quantum that can be written off with depreciation, before you will now have the leftover. That leftover being what is left at the end of the lifespan or life expectancy of the asset, then that portion to be written off, or that quantum of the cost to be written off, is what we call depreciable amount, or depreciable sum, or depreciation base. Please, that's another name, depreciation base. In fact, that is what is used in your study pack, depreciation base. Let me pick my pen. Depreciation base, okay? That is what is used in your study pack. I hope I've picked it well. This pen is very, very smart. Okay, now this one. Sorry. Okay. I think I'm the one. Now, this depreciable amount is otherwise called depreciation base. Depreciation base in your study pack, right? It's in books too. I'm not saying it's wrong though. Depreciation base. So if you hear the word depreciation base, what is depreciation base or determine depreciation base? You should know it's referring to what? Depreciable amount or depreciable sum. Like a good example, an asset, a plant worth 100 million. It has 30 years life expectancy. At the end of that 30 years life expectancy, the scrap value is said to be, let's say, 8 million. Right? Then what is depreciable amount there? You should know that when we say there is 8 million that will be left over, it therefore means that 100 million, with that example, let me see if I can write that somewhere. It then means that 100 million, right? Minus what? Minus the scrap value, which is 8 million in the case of this example I just mentioned now, right? 8 million. When you minus that, what do you have left? You have 92 million. In this case, 92 million is what? Depreciable amount or sum. 92 million. This is all depreciation base. This is what can be written off. This is what depreciation will consume. This is what will constitute loss in value over the life expectancy of the asset. I hope that is clear. Now, let's see this one. Let's see depreciation rates. Depreciation rates usually expressed in decimal or as a fraction or as a percentage. It is not an integer. It is not a figure. Excuse me, a whole number. It is not. It is not in money in monetary term. It is a percentage. You can express it in decimal form. Rates can therefore be, you can have a case of annual depreciation rate, which is common, and it varies from method to method. Each method you have to calculate what is the annual depreciation rate for it, right? Now, you can equally now have what we call the depreciation percentage. That means over a period of time, what rates can you say have been accumulated depreciation? But the essence of my slide there is to talk about annual depreciation rates, which is what you have to calculate depending on different methods. We will talk about that. And that means when you have annual depreciation rate, that is the rate you will apply to your cost or to your book value, as the case may be, to arrive at what? To arrive at your depreciation amount, which you have here. To arrive at your depreciation amount. When you get your depreciation rate, You can easily apply it to your book value or to your cost or to your depreciable amount to give you depreciation amount. Depreciation amount means therefore what? Annual depreciation. Annual depreciation in terms of figure, in terms of amount, based on the rate you have calculated. Now, again, we have what we call accumulated depreciation. Accumulated depreciation is the summation of depreciation over a period of time. If it is 1 year, that will be equivalent to the annual depreciation. If it's 2 years, it's going to be depreciation over the last what? Over the 2 years. The depreciation for year 1 plus depreciation for year 2. If it is 10 years, therefore, it is depreciation over the what? The whole 10 years. All of the depreciation added together. Like for example, you have an asset that the depreciable sum, as we have given here, is 92 million, right? Let's say you have calculated your depreciation rate is 10%. That will mean what? That would mean 9.2 annually on straight line basis. If the asset has been in use, if it's 10%, it means the life expectancy of that asset will be what? 10 years. That is clear. 10 years. So if the asset has been used for 5 years, what will be the accumulated depreciation? You just sum each annual depreciation together. In the case of straight line, it's a constant sum. 9.2 plus 9.2 in 5 places. Or just 9.2 multiplied by 5 years. That will give you 41 million accumulated depreciation. Okay? But let me take it to be multiplied by 3 years. Can somebody do that for me? Multiply by 3 years. What is it? When you multiply 9.2 by 3 years, I think that should be about 27.6. If my memory serves me well, that's 27.6. So accumulated depreciation over 3 years will be 27.6 million. Now, what is book value? Let's go to book value. Or even, can we use that 5 years? I can make, okay, don't worry. Book value, right, represents the net value of the asset after removing accumulated depreciation. The net value of the asset after removing accumulated depreciation. That is book value. Okay? Net value of an asset after removing. Yes, please.
Okay, after removing
accumulated depreciation. So it then means that your book value will be what? Your book value will be cost minus accumulated depreciation. That will be your book value. Cost minus accumulated depreciation. Then there's another significant thing that you must note about book value. Book value, therefore, comprises. Okay, I think I have a slide where I explain that. Book value, yes. I think I do. Let me get to that place so that I won't distort this slide too much. When I get there, to tell us the composite of book value, so that you'll be flexible in calculating or in analyzing it. Okay, so that is book value. Now let's quickly look at methods. Depreciation method, available method that we have. Depreciation methods. Please mute your microphone.
Sorry, you're on live lecture, please.
Mute your microphone. You are distracting us. Okay, now depreciation methods. You have the following. You have the following as very handy in terms of methods. You have the straight line method. You have permit me to go back to that slide, please. Something crossed my mind. I should draw a difference, a clarification for you. See, when you come to the issue of accumulated depreciation, please, there is another concept that we call accrued depreciation. Accumulated depreciation means total depreciation over a period of time. Total depreciation, total loss in value because of usage. But accumulated depreciation, while it means the same thing as total depreciation, is different from accrued depreciation. Please note that. It's different from what? Accrued depreciation. Let me quickly insert a slide so that maybe I will be able to just, at least for emphasis. Okay? what I've said is that accumulated depreciation means the same thing as accumulated depreciation. Accumulated depreciation, right? It means the same thing as total depreciation. It's the same thing, congruous to total depreciation. Okay? Total depreciation. Okay? It's equal to total depreciation. However, it's not the same as what? Accrued depreciation. Please note that. Not the same as accrued depreciation. Accrued depreciation is depreciation of, is the summation of all elements of loss in value. Accrued depreciation means what? Summation of all elements of loss in value. Summation of all elements. We will be seeing all those ones later. I will mention them. Elements of loss in value of an asset. Element of loss in value is not limited to, it's not limited to depreciation, physical deterioration. No. You have obsolescence. Apart from physical deterioration, you have obsolescence. Right? You have obsolescence. You have what we call inutility. Inutility. You'll be seeing all those ones as we proceed. Inutility. Then you have your depreciation. So when you have when you add all of them together, right? Then it represents what accrued depreciation. That is what we call accrued depreciation. So if you see accrued depreciation in your question, or what is accrued depreciation, is not the same thing as accumulated depreciation. No. Don't say accrued, accumulated. You are not using English. You are dictionary meaning, accrued. They are not the same. They are two technical terminologies. Accumulated depreciation is total depreciation. And that is the depreciation, some of physical deterioration over a period of time of an asset. Right? But accrued depreciation is sum of all elements of loss in value, different types of loss in value. If the asset suffers from functional obsolescence, you will capture it. The asset suffers from technological obsolescence, economic obsolescence, commonly measured with inutility, right? Then physical deterioration. Adding all those ones together make what we call accrued depreciation. So if you have to explain accrued depreciation, please note that it's not the same thing as what? Accumulated depreciation. So thank you. I see the need to make that clarification. Okay, now, in terms of methods,
hello,
we
sir.
Have,
hello, sir. Can I ask you a question? Can you have, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Can you have accrued depreciation occurring over a period of time? I'm trying to determine which has a higher value between the two.
You can have accrued depreciation. Yes, yes, you can have accrued depreciation over a period of time. The only difference here is that when you say accrued depreciation, you are talking about two different elements of depreciation. They can occur over a period of time. Even your obsolescence can be over a period of time, right? Even your inutility can be over a period of time. Even though we measure that penalty in percentage, it can be over a period of time, right? Then your physical deterioration can be over a period of time, which is accumulated depreciation, right? Over a period of time. But when it is physical deterioration, accumulated depreciation alone, you don't call that one accrued depreciation. But you have element of accumulated depreciation over a period of time. You have element of functional or operating obsolescence over a period of time. Like for example, then you will be talking about what? Accrued depreciation. Summation of all elements of loss in value. Now, and accrued depreciation is additive. All elements of loss in value, when you determine them, you add them one by one together. It's additive. The process of summing is just summation. You have seen in your assets or in your question, there is element of curable depreciation, you put it at a corner. There is element of incurable depreciation, you put it at the corner. You will add the two together. There is element of operating obsolescence, you add them, you get it again, you add it together. There is element of utility, you get that, you add all of them together and remove them from your current or gross current replacement or reproduction cost, your cost new, to reflect the status of your asset. Okay, so now methods, available methods, where everybody is familiar with straight line method. Okay, we have straight line method, we have reducing or declining balance method, we have double reducing or double declining balance method, we have sum of years digits, we have sinking fund approach, annuity method, machine hour rate method, and that's what we call hours of production method. Then we have a unit of production method, and so on and so forth. For the purpose of our interaction and for the purpose of your exam, we are going to do workings, calculation, pay attention on the following. We will do straight line method. As a matter of fact, unit of production method is equally another fashion, model of straight line method. I'll be discussing that when I get to that. Then equally hours of production, which is machine hour rate method, is equally another model of straight line method. I'll be discussing that. The three, they come under the class of what we call constant sum method. They come under the class of what we call constant sum method. Constant sum method or fixed sum method. Why? Because they charge the same amount, you know, either yearly or per unit of production or per hours of usage. Okay, so but apart from the class of constant sum method, we have another class, which is class of what? Accelerated depreciation. Class of accelerated depreciation. This is another class, accelerated depreciation, right? This is another class. One class is class of a constant sum or fixed sum method. Another one is accelerated, class of accelerated depreciation methods. And under these, we have the like of what we call, we have, who is that? You are distracting us. We have the like of what we call reducing balance method, this one. We have the like of what we call double reducing balance method or double declining balance method. We have the like of what we call sum of years digits. All these ones that are aesthetic, they come under accelerated depreciation method. All those ones that I mark come under constant sum depreciation method. Okay? Why are they accelerated? We will explain when we get to those methods specifically. Okay, on this note, before I hit straight line method, any question? Okay, let me quickly see. I think there is chat. Please, I'm from the scrap. Okay, I'm what? Please, okay, the person wants to say I'm lost. I'm lost. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Okay,
yes.
I want to know the depreciation amount, the where you spoke about useful life asset cost. I didn't get that clearly.
Okay, I'll go back to that slide now. I will explain. Now, the other question by this guy too is on the same slide, talking about scrap and salvage. Okay. Then somebody said 26.6. Okay, thank you. The person tried to give us answer to that calculation. The example I gave to explain accumulated depreciation. Okay, now What I said is this. Let me start from scrap value and salvage value. The first thing we should know is that scrap value and salvage value come at the end of the life expectancy, economic life, or useful life of the asset. Let's take note of that. So both are terminal value or residual value of an asset. The leftover value after the asset has expended is economic life. After you have reached the lifespan of the asset. Don't forget after that, I mean, something will still be left over. So that leftover we assume either of the two values, either as a scrap value or as a salvage value. And I said, often you use these two interchangeably. However, they are not the same. The difference is simply that for a salvage value, it represents the value of an asset at the terminal end, at the end of its life expectancy in an existing operation, where such an asset or any part of that asset can still have alternative use in any other process.
Yep.
That is salvage value. It means there is still something useful out of it that can still serve a purpose somewhere. And I gave an example of compressor, for example. Now, but where the leftover after the life expectancy of an asset is such that it's only good for nothing other than for the material contents. I think that language, pardon me, right? That language should drive home that point. It's only good for nothing other than what? The material content. It is not useful. It does not have any role to play in any other alternative process anymore, right? Then the only value you can attribute to is the value of the material makeup of it. The metallic content or wooden content or what have you, I said material content. Then you are talking of scrap value. So that is the
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yes, hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Yes, from your explanation so far, the difference between scrap value and salvage value, that is to say, scrap value is a bit less than salvage value, right?
Don't say if it is of the same match of the same asset. If it is of the same asset, yes, scrap value should be less. But you see, it's not for you. It's not a question of scale. It's a question of utility. What we have left over, does it have role or relevance or anything to serve in any other process, in any other use? Does it have alternative use? Are you with me? It might not really be worthy of so much, but the fact is that when you pull it out of the existing process, it has alternative use, or any part of it has alternative use in another process, right? Then you can say salvage value.
Hello, sir. Can I?
Yes.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Hello, sir.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
All right, sir. I want to take, for instance, the BRT buses that want probably during the process of NSAS protest and all that.
Yes.
If we want to take, for instance, one of the bus that they burnt, we know in this country or probably in Lagos, we can still probably cut out the parts and sell it to all these bowlers that sell and all that. I don't know which value you will ascribe to that.
When you do that, that is scrap. When you are selling to bowler, that is scrap. That's material content. But let me take you back to that BRT. Your BRT, okay?
Yes,
when
sir.
talking about scrap value or salvage value, we are not talking about when there is accidents or incidents of damage or fire. We are talking of the fact that a BRT is bought. It has 10 years lifespan. Are you with me? Over that 10 years, this BRT has been in use. At the end of the 10 years, right, we have said that, oh, this BRT has exhausted its economic lifespan, right? There will still be something that will be left over, even if it's not working, right? Or it might be working. In that situation, it can assume the value of a scrap value or a salvage value. But if it is motor vehicle, most likely it's going to be salvage value. Do you know why? even if the BRC cannot serve as a fleet on Lagos Road for rapid bus transit anymore, it can serve a purpose if you take it to farm. Those people that are loading food to my 12, it will serve a purpose there. Go and see the kind of vehicles they use to bring. In fact, there are some vehicles on Lagos Road. They have hours of operation. They will not come out until they will come out early in the morning. When it is 6:37, they have returned back home because they should not see them on the road. That is a savage. That's an asset with savage value. That asset, when it is new, has served a purpose, its useful life somewhere in an operation. It might be in a company, right? But now it's in the hands of Mekunu like you and I. And they are using it to convey tomato, fruits. You know, they will go during the dark. They will quickly discard and they move the whole thing back. I mean, the asset back because it's not roadworthy. But it still has alternative use. So it's a salvage value. Apart from that, when you look at vehicles, there are some parts of vehicle that has alternative use. So most often, not vehicle that is gutted down by fire, vehicle that have been used, have served its useful life within the operation where it's bought for, and now it has reached the end of its lifespan. Noble colleagues, vehicle commonly has salvage value because somebody will pick it up and will be using it. So it's serving another purpose somewhere. Apart from that, if you pieces it, there are components of the vehicles, not the metallic component now, that are used for elsewhere. You have motor in vehicle. They use motor for some other things. I can tell you that. There is a concept of free energy that is going on now. I'm part of the team. We buy things from with vehicles that they are pieces that they are equally machines, you know, automated machines. So vehicle typically not the one gutted down by fire. When we are talking about scrappers having value, we are talking about assets in that is intact, that has served its purpose over the entire life of its and over its life. You know, and now it has reached the end of its economic life. So maybe the company will choose to sell them out. Let me give you another example. I remember sometimes ago, all these Nkelechuku, all these luxurious buses going to the east. Easterners among us, we all understand what I'm talking about. They will buy them new. They have the period of using them. At the end of that usage, they would sell them out. Are you saying that they are no more on the Nigerian road, or they are no more in the hands of somebody serving purpose? In their own business, they have seen that all their luxurious buses maybe should serve 10 years. After 10 years, that reach the economic lifespan, end of economic lifespan, they can now sell to people that will not be using them to tour long journey as they are using it. You cannot be doing, you know, all other short runs, right? That is salvage value. But if it's an asset that after it reaches the economic lifespan, end of its lifespan, there is no any other purpose it will serve in anywhere, then you say it has what? Scrap value. Okay. I think I have a lot of charts coming in. Let me quickly explain before I open these charts.
Hello,
Let
sir.
me quickly explain.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir. So okay, sir. When you go to this method of depreciation, you were saying we should note the following method.
Don't worry. Let's come back to method of depreciation. Let me explain depreciable amount. Somebody sought clarification on that. So I will explain depreciable amounts. When I now get back to method of valuation and depreciation, then you can raise your question so that you will not be, you know, moving back and forth. Now, depreciable amounts. Depreciable amounts, I said, okay, for example, like the luxurious bus I've given you. They bought luxurious bus, let's say, for 20 million, purpose of argument. They feel that it's going to serve them for 10 years. That is the most useful life span of it. After 10 years, the remainder is scrap value or salvage value. As the example I've given, salvage value. It means therefore the whole 20 million will not be written off. Loss in value will not consume the entire 20 million. There is still a leftover, which can go to the hands of any other person and they will receive money for exchanging it. Okay? So that is what we call salvage value. The difference, please note, the difference between your costs and the salvage value. That is, when you remove salvage.
You just want to print. You are putting it off now.
Oh. Who is that? Can you please mute your microphone? You are distracting noble colleagues here. Okay. That is so when you have your costs and you remove your salvage value or scrap value from your cost, what you have left is your depreciable amount. That is the amount that can be or it should be written off with depreciation. The amount that loss in value will consume, it can never consume that terminal value. It might be in terms of scrap, it might be in terms of salvage, there will be a leftover. So that proportion, or let me say the portion of your costs or quantum of your costs that loss in value can consume makes what we call depreciable amount or depreciable sum or depreciation base. I hope that is clear. Thank you. Let me quickly open this chart. I want to go back to methods now.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
I want to get explanation on depreciation amount.
Depreciation amount.
Yes.
The depreciation amount is the actual figure of depreciation that is charged, and it can be, it's usually yearly, and it can be per product anyway, if we get to other methods. So it's like your depreciation rate multiplied by your depreciable sum or depreciable amount. That will give you your depreciation amount. That is what otherwise called annual depreciation. Okay? Like for example, let's say you have the example I gave, you have a depreciable sum of 92 million. Your depreciation rate is 10%. What is annual depreciation on that? That is 9.2 million. Right? That is depreciation amount, which is annual depreciation. If that is in terms of monetary value, what the loss in value represents annually. Okay? So that's there. Then I have somebody here that says book value represents the net value of an asset after removing accumulated depreciation. Yes. Then maybe it's now saying what? I say WC, cost minus accumulated depreciation. That is what is said. I'm confused with what, but yes, book value is the value of an asset, net value of an asset. That's all. That's book value. And you arrive at that by removing accumulated depreciation from the cost of the asset. But your book value, I said I have a slide, I think I'll get there. But your book value has components. It then means it has remaining lifespan, remaining depreciable amount or depreciable sum and scrap value. Your book value will have two components. The component will comprise the leftover of your depreciable amount and the scrap value. That is your book value. That is taking the accumulated depreciation out of your cost. Then you have what you have not depreciated that is remaining, and you have your scrap value. Now, when the asset has reached the end of its economic lifespan, your book value will be the same as your scrap value. Because as at that time, you would have written off completely all your depreciation, your depreciable sum. You would have written them completely. Okay. Then another one says, okay, please move to please explain depreciation amount. I think I've done that. What is the difference between depreciation amount and depreciable amount? Okay, thank you. The difference between that, depreciable amount is equally called depreciable sum. Is equally called depreciation base. That represents the portion, quantum of your cost that loss in value can consume, that you can write off with depreciation before you will have a leftover, which is called salvage value or scrap value. Because the entire cost will not be written off, given the fact that there will still be leftover, which is scrap value or salvage value. But when you now talk about depreciation amount, that is annual depreciation. Out of your depreciable amount or depreciable sum, you are charging certain amounts every year. That is your depreciation amount, or what we call annual depreciation. Okay, this one is called annual depreciation. Annual depreciation. Okay, when it is more than annual, it becomes what? Accumulated depreciation. Okay, when you sum 2-3 years together. Okay. Okay, on this note, let's go to methods. So we want to pick straight line method. Straight line method charges the same figure year in, year out. That's why it is called the constant sum method or fixed sum method, right? It depreciates the value of the asset at the same rate, the same amount every year. And that's what I try to show to you in graphics here. With this, my little graphics, I just use an image to represent, you know, what I'm trying to say here, so that I can drive home my points. Over the life of the asset, you have annual depreciation, which is constant sum, which is each of these. At the end of the lifespan of the assets, which is this point, you will have what? The scrap or salvage value. You have the scrap or salvage value. Scrap or salvage value. Okay? So that scrap or salvage value cannot be depreciated. That is why costs and depreciable amounts are not the same. What makes the difference is the salvage or scrap value. Okay? So now, let's quickly see the formula, applicable formula in this case. Let's see applicable formula in this case. So in analyzing or using straight line method to do calculation, you can start from calculating the depreciation rates, and your depreciation rate is annual. Depreciation rate is simply put 1/n, 1/lifespan, 1/lifespan, which is this 1/n. That is your depreciation rate. Okay, so if you have, for example, a life expectancy or lifespan of 20 years, right? Your rate will be what? 1/20. 1/20. That will be your rate. Okay? That will be your rate. Now, in this formula, I equally now said, apart from depreciation rates, you have what we call annual depreciation amount. The guy that says, what is depreciation amount, please? You can see the formula now. Annual depreciation amount. That is the amount you charge. And these annual depreciation amounts, you can use the formula depreciable. If you look at this, cost minus salvage value or scrap value. What is cost minus scrap value or salvage value? That is your depreciable amount. That's your depreciable amount. Sorry, I even put it here. That's your depreciable amount. Okay? That's your depreciable amount or your depreciable sum. That is what depreciation can consume. You can see I put it here. Your cost minus salvage value or scrap value is what? The depreciable amount. Okay? So in using annual depreciation, in calculating annual depreciation or annual depreciation amount, it's going to be your depreciable sum divided by your life expectancy, which is your N. Right? The lifespan of the asset. So your depreciable sum or depreciable amount divided by lifespan of the asset in years. in years. Okay? So now this equation that I state here is what I re-expressed here for you to see the implication of using depreciation rates. You can see when I break it down here, I break it down here because your cost minus scrap value all over n means the same thing as 1 over n multiplied by cost minus scrap value. Okay, let me pick my pointer so that I don't blur the face of that. See, 1 over this what you see here, cost minus scrap value divided all over n is the same thing as 1 over n multiplied by cost minus scrap value. It's the same thing. So your 1 over n here stands for what? It stands for the depreciation rate. That means that when you get your depreciation rate, all you need is to do what? To get your annual depreciation or annual depreciation amount, you just use your rate to multiply your depreciable sum, which is cost minus scrap value or minus salvage value. That is arithmetic. Thank you. I have somebody saying that is arithmetic. And I know it's arithmetic. So everybody take it as arithmetic. Now let's see a simple example. Let's see a simple example. Let's say a simple example. Consider this example, please. If you look at this example, you see that it's very simple. I said consider an asset of an electricity generating plant with 5 years economic life. Original cost of the asset is 16 million and the salvage value of 1 million. And salvage value of 1 million. Right? So if you look at that work example, let's quickly see the solution. Let's quickly see the solution. You see that my slide where I have the solution. Everybody, you are seeing it. I've used your formula here. I've used that same formula, which is depreciable sum divided by the number of years, right? That will give us annual depreciation amounts. Annual depreciation amounts. So your C here is your cost, which is given as 16 million. Your S is your scrap value, which is given as 1 million. The life expectancy of the asset, which is N, is what? Is given as 5 years. So if you come to this now, you see that we have 16 million minus 1 million, all divided by 5, right? 16 million minus 1 million, all divided by 5. 16 million minus 1 million will give you what? Depreciable sum or depreciable amounts or depreciation base, which is what? When you remove 1 million from 16 million, you are left with 15 million. Then you divide it by number of years that constitute the life expectancy of the asset, economic life of the asset, which is what is given as 5 years. So you have what? You have depreciation, annual depreciation amount as 3 million, which is this. As 3 million, which is this. Now, before I go to the next slide, okay, or let me pick the next slide. I think I just rework that in another way, put in another way, based on the equation I gave you here, right? You know, I re-express, if you come back here, I re-express this. This is the one I just explained now. I re-express it in terms of rate, depreciation rate, and your depreciable sum, which is 1 over n multiplied by your depreciable sum, cost minus salvage value or scrap value. So I now try to equally rework it that on this slide for whichever one that is convenient for you. Whichever one that is convenient for you. So in the same vein, we have our depreciation rate as 1 over n, and we have our depreciable sum as cost minus scrap value. Okay? So if you substitute all our figures into these, you will have what I have here. You will have what I have here. Okay? You have what I have here. 1 over n is 1 over 5 into our cost is 16 million. Our scrap value or salvage value is 1 million. You therefore have 1/5 multiplied by 15 million. Then you are back to your what? Your 3 million. You are back to your 3 million. So before I go further, permit me to pick. I see chat coming in. Permit me to answer the clearance call. What I see here is not chat too. Or what? Okay, let me go to where I stopped. I see link. Okay. Okay. This guy says, please, can I watch the lecture video from Monday to Wednesday on YouTube? Are they available? Wasn't in the one from Monday to Wednesday? Well, I think it's Niesv National. You have to answer that one. No, I don't know. But you can make attempt to search. I know that the stream live, so you can make attempt to search YouTube. The concerned person, please make attempt to search YouTube. You might be lucky, might still be there. They might have archived them there. So you just download and watch all over. And if you cannot download, you use your data to watch. It's better you download sharp so that you watch over and over. Okay, that's that. Then another person said, yes, link are on the WhatsApp chat. Okay, good. Somebody has responded to that. Another person says, I am on in the chat group. Can I be added, please? Okay, maybe he's saying I'm not on the chat group. Okay, I think the coordinator of the chat group, please, you can add the person. Be your brother's keeper. And this guy said, please share the WhatsApp link as I am not on the group chat. That's another one. So please share that. Then this guy, another person is saying, okay, I am so. Many times the guy puts his number. And I think the WhatsApp link has been shared here because I'm seeing WhatsApp. Yeah, it has been shared. For whoever is interested, just click. So you are there. You'll be added. Sir, can you bring up the question again? Okay, I'll go back to the question. Then this one says, sir, we need the last question again. I'll go back to the question by popular demand. Sir, you said for the purpose of this lecture, we should concentrate on the following method. What are the methods, please, sir? Okay, I mentioned those methods to you. Straight line method, straight line method, unit of production method, machine hour rate or hours of production method, then reducing or declining balance method, and double reducing and declining balance method, then sum of years digits. Sum of years digits. So, okay, then, okay, thank you. I think that's all for now. The one that is promised to go back to the question. Okay, let me go back to the question. It's a very simple question. There are other questions we attempt. Okay. So this is the question, please. Noble colleague, you that are interested, quickly, before we move further. Consider an asset of an electricity generating plant with 5 years economic lifespan. And that original cost of the asset has original cost of 16 million and salvage value of 1 million. That's the what do I say? That is the question, please. That's the question. Let me see. I think I have one question somewhere that might equally be useful. Okay, this question, this question is from Niesv. This is a straight line, right? I think this is straight line. Let me check. If it's straight line, then I'll give it to you. Sorry, who is that? You have to take it easy. We have not entered calculation at all. This is arithmetic. Because that deep breathing It's too deep. I want to see if I have that question. Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is another question you can work with. This is another question. If I go further on my slide, please everybody do this calculation. An electricity generator was purchased 12.5 million in May 2015. CO, you see the question here. Don't say you know CO. Noble colleagues, I want you to answer this question as work example now, and it's 10 marks. Very simple question. This question should not take you more than five maximum, about 5 minutes, and you have your 10 marks. So the question says, an electricity generating, let me see if I can use my pen. Am I here? I don't know. Okay, let me pick pen. I should be able to use. Okay, this is the question, right? The one I'm trying to circle around, so that you will not be. I don't want you to be, juggling around. Bam! Oh yeah, everybody, please. An electricity generator was purchased for 12.5 million. 12.5 million in May 2015. It has a total working life of 12 years. It has a total working life of 12 years. It has a total working life of 12 years. You are seeing it on the screen, Its scrap value is also 10% of its purchase price. Its scrap value is also 10% of its purchase price. Calculate the depreciable value. You can see now the importance of those concepts that I've explained to you. See your question, this live question, 2018, if I remember. The question says, calculate the depreciable value. That is 1. 2, the annual rate of depreciation. That is 2. And the third one, I think there is an error. It's saying market value. It should be market value. They omitted value there, but make it market value of the machine using straight line method of depreciation. Noble colleagues, I've explained straight line method inside out to you based on what I know, and it's sufficient for you to answer this question. I hand your 10 marks now. Quick. The first person to finish, I will post your 10 marks to you now. While that is going on, permit me to quickly check what I have on the chat. I'm believing that everybody is doing it. Everybody, you have to do it too. Somebody has finished. Somebody has finished this one, or what? Or what do you give me here? Okay, I think the guy had finished. He said it's 937. I don't know. He said it's 937. What is 937 there? You just type figure. What is 937? Then 8.3%. Are you sure? So be more explicit, please. Okay, another person equally came in and said 3 depreciable sum. How will your depreciable sum be? Okay, depreciable sum, yes. This is annual depreciation. Okay, do we have to do annual depreciation there? They didn't ask you for annual depreciation, no. Annual rate of depreciation. Don't create question for yourself. Oh. They asked you for depreciable sum, and I think this should be right. What I have there, I'm not 10% of what is your scrap value. Okay, yeah. What I have here, good. Your depreciable sum is okay. Your depreciable sum 11,250,000. That should be okay. Now, if you take 10% of 12.5 million out, that should rather be the figure you will have. 10% of, yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Then what is the depreciation, annual depreciation rate? Quickly. Annual depreciation rate, 0.89. Somebody is saying 0.89. Annual depreciation rate. Are you sure? Somebody says 0.83. Another person is saying 0.89. Let me check as we are doing so. Before you bamboozle me, 0.89 is wrong. 0.83 is 0.83 is wrong. Go. It's 0.083. Is 0.083. So if you write 0.83 in your exam, you are wrong. It's 0.083. 1/12. Yes, you are right. 0.083. That's correct. That's correct. Please be mindful of that. Be mindful of that, noble colleagues. Be mindful of that. Then, therefore, what will be your? They didn't ask you for annual depreciation, but they now ask you for market value. What is your market value? What is your market value? That's one I need you to tell me. ARD. What is the meaning of ARD? Annual rate of depreciation. Annual rate of depreciation cannot be in figure, cannot be an integer. I warned you before. I told you that earlier. It has to be in fraction. It has to be in percentage. You can express it in decimal. It can never be. It can never be a figure, a whole figure. It will not be up to 1. So note that the person that say ARD is 10416, right? That's wrong. Okay. 0.89 is wrong. I don't know where you get it from. 1/12 can never give you 0.89. 1/12 will give you 0.083. So check it out. Check it out. That's about 8.3%. Yes. But always express, preferably when you are doing workings, express in 4 decimal places to reduce effect of error due to approximation. Express in 4 decimal places when you are still working. If you need that figure to work, express in 4 decimal places so that you will minimize the effect of error due to what? Error due to approximation. Okay. Now, market value. Market value. The guy is saying market value will be 11,560,000. Is that correct? Let's see. How did you arrive at this figure? Oga, with your market value 11 point something. You are doing magical. Another person gave me market. Hey, bravo! Wonderful. See this person, no? Award-winning candidates. 13,750,000 market value for an asset that the current price is 12.5, and there will be element of loss in value that you will remove. You now arrive at 13,750,000. You see where valuation can kill. This is how candidate will write pages, and you say I've killed Niesv, and you have to be careful, please. You have to be very, very careful. Okay. Nobody has been able to tell me the market value. Market value. Okay, let me see. Is this guy doing something good here? How will your market value? Your market value, how will it be 11.25? You want me to do that calculation on my own? Okay, let me check it up, but I'm sure it will not be. What did you get? Market value. You people didn't do it. You have to do it. Okay, no worry. 0.0833 multiplied by, I won't say it loud. I want you people to do it. Do your own. Depreciable sum. Multiply this out for me. What do you have? So I want to see market value. Market value 933,750. You people are doing wonder in this discussion group. That is it. Okay. Yeah. If nobody is able to, somebody is laughing. Thank you. At least that is spicing it up. The way you are laughing, at least that will keep us moving. Thank you as you laugh it all over. There shouldn't be tension, no. Okay. So we have 12,500,000, right? That's the cost minus accumulated. Abi? Yes, sir. Don't forget, I have my candidate here too. And this one. You know what they have been doing? They didn't treat this. Yeah, remove it and give me the. Okay. Okay. 375. Okay. Now, noble colleagues, so that I don't continue to waste your time. Cynthia Bashir. Is this market value or what? Okay, please. Hello? Hold on. Just hold your chat. Just hold your chat. Let's go back. Let's know what is market value. What does it mean in this thing? Yes? I'm listening. I'm listening now. Book value, exactly. Market value means book value. That's good. Cynthia, good of you, but that thumb up is for you to get that one, but you didn't get your calculation. Your calculation is wrong now. This is not the same thing.
Next.
Value to you. Cynthia, book value is market value, which is apt, but your calculation is Rashid Kofo.
2,500.
What? This person, I don't know.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
They are by 12 now.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
I'm with you.
Hello, sir. The market 500.
What?
7,812,500.
That is more like kids. Maybe because of error of approximation. My own figure is reading 7,814,375. It's okay. That should be due to approximation error. So please explain what you have done to us. Please explain quick. Let other people listen to you.
Accumulated depreciation amount. So I deduct from the cost of the assets.
Beautiful. So how did you arrive at your accumulated depreciation?
Accumulated, the used life is 5 years, and the life expectancy.
That is what majority of our colleagues don't see. That's what they didn't get. So majority have been using depreciation. Remove it from cost. You just remove depreciation for 1 year. These assets are being used for 5 years. So you will accumulate the depreciation, accumulated depreciation, which is what my, oh God. Where is your location? Can I send a bottle of Coke to you?
Yes, where did it say it was used for 5 years? Where did it say that?
We know who is talking, sir.
Sir, will give it to me when I get to the academy.
You know who is talking, sir. You know who is talking.
I withdraw that statement. I withdraw that statement too.
No, don't
if you are
don't withdraw it, we are many.
Then I withdraw that statement.
Okay.
Okay. Where do you get that from? That's the question. Look at your question. Let me highlight that area for you. You didn't read in between lines. Your question says, an electricity generator was purchased for 12.5 million in May 2015. You see, if we have been giving current, listen please, if we have been giving current cost of that electricity generator, we will not use that 12.5 million because that would have been historic cost. But because we are not given, we assume that inflation has remained what? Stagnant, the same, no inflation. That is why it remains our what? Our cost. Don't create question for yourself. You are not given. Don't say you want to assume. current cost will now be 15 million or 20 million. Then work within the policy. But there are some reasonable assumptions you might need to make. I'm not ruling out that. But in this case, you have your cost to be 12.5. You have the year of installation to be 2015. It means up to today, it has been used for how many years? 5 years. So I want to thank each and every one of you for your participation in this interaction, and more particularly to my noble colleague who declared 13,750,000 as the book value. Okay, thank you. Let's see. Let's go back to my slide, please. So let us sit up. Okay, before I go back to my slide, I think I see some charts. Let me quickly see if there are things I can answer. Because I got a figure using the formula. Which figure? You didn't follow the process now. See, this person says 5 years multiplied by 937,500, which is your annual depreciation is that, right? And from your annual depreciation, multiply by 5. That will give you accumulated depreciation. You have not finished. Book value will now be costs minus accumulated depreciation. That's when you get there. Okay, cost minus accumulated depreciation. I'll give you your book value, which represents the market value of the asset, or net asset value. Okay, that's let's see. Let's go back to the slide. I think we have the same page here. I have another one. I've not seen this one. If I leave you, maybe I should show you this one too. Let me see if I can get it. Which one is this? Okay, let me see. This is the one we did now. Or is it my screen? Oh, it's my screen. Now, okay, I think I've seen it. Get ready. If you are of the academy, don't harm my, I don't say you should not do it, but you won't harm my coke, please. No coke for anybody from the academy.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Okay, please. So what is the final answer? What's the book value? I just want to know because
that is 7,800,000 and something. My own is 7,000,000.
Okay. 812,500.
It's okay.
Okay, sir. I get it now.
Yeah. Now, again, another one, quick exercise. You cannot do this one now. When we get to that one, you will do it. Don't worry. You cannot do it now. I've seen it. Reducing balance method. Okay, let me leave that one for another method. Okay, so we can go. I think that is interactive enough. Everybody has participated. If you have not participated, you better start participating, because this is the way it's always goes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Okay, please, can we have this slide sent to the WhatsApp group, because I cannot screenshot, so I couldn't copy the questions as quickly as I would have loved to.
Yeah, but the slide does not contain that question, though. Maybe what I will do, I will try to give you the reference, or if I can type the question into it before I send it to you, or I give the nice reference detail, like my 2000 made November question.
Okay, so we can find it.
I will type it in. But getting to your group is another problem. I don't think I'm part of it. Well, I'll get one or two of your colleagues to send it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I don't think any of the lecturers is on that group. I'm not sure. I've not seen that group on my WhatsApp. Okay. So I came late, hence I could not follow the question. It's not good for you to be coming late this time around. It should be your priority now. Please stop it, not getting it. It has been done now. Okay, if you want us to do the to solve it, okay, no problem. Please, can someone help out with the workings? Okay, okay, okay. Is it possible? Who is the person that guy from the academy? Can you post the solution on the WhatsApp group? Please answer me if your answer is yes, quick, quick. Otherwise, we might have to work it out now, but we don't have time.
Yes, I will do it later, sir.
You will post it, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
so, for those that really want, the workings, please expect to have it on your WhatsApp. One or two persons will post it. Okay, so that we don't. Let's now go to. I think we are done with all this. Now let's go to this slide. I think I explained some things here. I try as much as possible to drive home my point about what represents the book value. Maybe this sketch will be able to demystify what I've been trying to explain in terms of accumulated depreciation, scrap value, book value, and what have you. I try to call our attention to the fact that book value is the depreciable amount with scrap value for the remaining useful life of the assets. That means you just remove accumulated depreciation from your original cost. Accumulated depreciation from your original cost. Now, let's see this image. You can see this one represents all the depreciation that has accumulated. This portion of blue represents the remaining depreciable amount. The portion left over here, which is the green, represents that green that you see. Let me pick my pointer. This green that you see represents the scrap value, right? Then between these brackets, everything in this bracket from here, all this blue together with the green make your book value. That's why you see what I put there. You see, it makes your book value. This is just to give you, representation of what the English we have been talking about. Okay, so I have another one here. I don't think I have the question of this. I don't think I have this question, so we might have to leave it. This is supposed to be accumulated, not accumulated. Okay, what I think I did, yes, I understand now. What I think I did is that I was trying to explain further. Okay, the question is here. Please see the question. That's what led to explanation about book value. I have the question. After explaining accumulated depreciation, I gave you process of calculating accumulated depreciation, which you already know anyway. So on that straight line. So I now said, what is the book value of the asset in example 1 after 3 years of being in use? The asset in example 1. To go back to that question, let me see, where do we have the question? This question that we say has 5 years life, and it has cost of 16 million, 1 million scrap. So what is the book value, right? That's why I explained what book value is with this slide. And I went further to this slide to now calculation. Your annual depreciation supposed to be, your annual depreciation supposed to be 3 million, right? Accrued depreciation here. Accumulated depreciation. Annual depreciation supposed to be 3 million, which you have calculated before, right? Which is this, right? Then that's this. Then multiply by 3 years that it has been in this. Otherwise, you can equally use this formula, right? But that would mean that, you see, this portion of the formula here, represents your annual depreciation, which gave us 3 million. Then this N substitute I represent the number of years in use, which is your age in use now, 3 years in this case. So you don't need to cram anything as the formula, just use the number of years that the assets are being used, use it to multiply your annual depreciation. So you will have your accumulated depreciation. When you get your accumulated depreciation, you remove it from book value. Sorry, you remove it from costs. That will give you your book value. You remove it from costs. That will give you your book value, which is exactly what we have demonstrated before now. I have a lot of charts. I'm using laptop, not phone. Please add me through my phone number. Anyway, that's for the people. Then copy link and send it to, okay? So book value can also be called market value. Yes, of course. But in some cases, your book value, your market value might be different from your book value. Where there is accrued depreciation, it won't be exact book value. It will be a little different. But where there is no accrued depreciation, where is just accumulated depreciation, like you consider deterioration, your book value and market value will be the same. When we get to methods of valuation, or in plant and machinery, we'll be discussing more about those. We'll be discussing more about them. Okay, please go back to the slides with formula. Okay, I will do. Okay. Okay, now, which formula do you want now? We have, which of the formula now? Okay, let me just run through. We started from here. We have this one. We stated the formula here. This formula is about annual depreciation, and that gave us 3 million. Then we worked it out in another way, where we use annual depreciation rate multiplied by depreciable sum. It's the same formula. We only try to factorize, split the formula into rates and depreciable sum, which is what you have here. Which is what you have here. That's what we have. Sorry, that is this one. Okay. Now, when you expand that and you substitute to it again, you get your 3 million. Right? So I don't know, but don't worry, you have this slide. You have this slide. Then here we treated accumulated depreciation, and that is your annual depreciation multiplied by the number of years that the asset are being used. Annual depreciation multiplied by the number of years that the assets are being used. Like the example you work from that of Niesv question, for example, you have 937 something multiplied by 5 years. That gives you accumulated depreciation. Then for book value, you remove it from the cost. You remove accumulated depreciation from the cost. Then you have your book value. Okay? So I gave you further examples of all those ones. So please, let's go to another method. This one, I use this one to solve book value. Okay, before I go to another method, let's talk about drawback, shortcomings of using this method. Shortcomings. We have 2 major ones. The method does not consider intensity of use. If straight line method on yearly basis does not consider intensity of use. If you buy an asset, let's say 2 people buy generating plants, 25 kVA each. You and your neighbor, you buy generating plant, 25 kVA each. As you buy, let's say 3 years ago, after a year, your neighbor travels out and he was not around for about 9 months. Now you have been around and you have been using your generator. If you are using straight line method, it's going to depreciate the 2 generating plants the same amount, because it's what? Per annum. It does not capture intensity of use. And that's the challenge there. Then it's too simple. It's oversimplicity to conform with the reality of the lifespan of assets. Oversimplicity to conform with the reality of the life pattern of the asset. Okay? So, and with that, we come to the end. We come to the end of straight line method. We come to the end of straight line method. So let's quickly go to another method. Please, take it to previous page. Okay. I will do right away. This is the previous page. I guess you have seen it. Any other thing? Now, let's go to another method. Let's see another method. The first one, I give you the next 30 seconds, please. This page. Okay. So now we go to units of production. Okay, hours of production first. This is another method. Hours of production method. Our machine hour method is the same thing. Okay. Now, hours of production method is another type of method that is constant sum method. It's constant sum method. It's constant sum because it charges the same figure. Now, instead of charging the same figure per annum, it's charging the same figure an equal amount per productivity hour. I hope that language is clear. Charging the same amount per productivity hour. Let me write it. I don't know if I put it here. So it's just like a straight line method. The only advantage, the only thing is that it has come to address one of the drawbacks of straight line method. That is what? To consider to capture intensity of use. Even if you buy the asset, like the other one that I mentioned in a case of 2 generating plant, the guy that have not been using his own, the running hour will be minimal. The one that who is this person? Adebayo Abiodun have been using for the past 3 years, day in, day out, because he has not been traveling, he has been in Nigeria. That one, the intensity of use, the running hour will be what? Higher. So hours of production method as a model of straight line method or constant sum method captures intensity of use. And that's what part of why, you know, it was promulgated, it was promoted. It came up because of the need to address that drawback in straight line method. Okay. Now, and I said what it does is that it charges, please note that. I said it charges what? Same amount or fixed sum per productivity hour. Per productivity hour. Okay. If you have been running your machine, it will be reading. This is hours of production. Okay. So now, how do you use it? In using it, the formula is basically the same thing as that of straight line. The only difference is that instead of your N be in terms of number of years, your N is now in terms of what? Total productive hours of the machine.
Hours.
Yes, number of hours. Total productive hours of the machine. Okay? That is just the difference there. So then instead of age in use now, it will now be number of hours in use, the running hours that the machine are being used. Okay? So let's quickly see. I have here under method, depreciation rate, under depreciation rate is 1 over total productivity hours. 1 over total productivity hours. All the hours that constitute the lifespan productive hours of the asset. Then I express that, if you have to express it in percentage, it will now be multiplied by 100%. Don't just say multiply by 100, though. It's multiplied by 100%. If you have to express it in percentage. Right? And that is therefore what? Rate per hour, not per year. In the case of straight line method, we said we have our rate, annual depreciation rate. This one will now be what? Hourly depreciation rate. Depreciation per hours of production. Depreciation per hours of production. Okay, that's why I said expressed per hour. Depreciation per hours of production. So please let us note that. Now, if you are to now determine depreciation amount, right? I think there is an error here. Let me just correct this one. Depreciation amount will be per hour, right? But you can equally have it per period, per hour or per period, because if you make it for 1 hour against 1 hour, it will be per hour. If you make it against the whole total running hour, it will be for the total running hour, and that will be like your accumulated depreciation. Okay, so now these are the formula. These are the formula. Let's quickly see application. So you can write this out. You can write this out. A plant has an estimated total productivity hours of 500,000 hours. 500,000 hours, right? The operation hours of the plant over 5 years of its usage amount to 180 hours. Amount to 180 hours. If the cost of the plant is 50 million, with a scrap value of 3.5 million, calculate 1, the accumulated depreciation, 2, the book value of the plant. Is there anybody among us that will not be able to do that? If I have another question, I think I have that solution anyway. Okay, what do we have to do? You convert, we already have everything in hours. But your examiner can choose to give you figure in years, so, and they give you number of productive hours in the year or in a week, give you number of productive week in a year. So you have to convert your years to what? To productive hours. Okay. So, but in this case, it's straightforward. You have 500,000 hours as the total productivity hours for the assets. That means at the end of, after running it for 500,000 hours, it will have exhausted its economic lifespan. Then the assets are being used for 5 years, and within that 5 years, total usage hours amount to 180 hours, 180,000 hours, right? Value of the asset as a date, cost of the asset rather, is 50 million. Scrap value is 3.5 million. So we are asked to determine the accumulated depreciation and equally to determine the book value. Very simple question. So let's see what I have there. So your cost is 50 million. Your scrap value, okay, let me pick my pen. Something good here. Okay, your cost is 50 million, right? Scrap value 3.5 million. Running hours so far over the 5 years 180. The total productivity hours for the lifespan of the asset 500,000 hours. Okay, so all you need to do is to substitute all your data into your formula. Let's go back to your formula. Right? You can use this formula. This is the applicable one. Because here you have you can use this one too. But when you use this, you will now use whatever value you get here to multiply the number of hours that have been used, then to multiply your depreciable sum. Okay? But this one has taken care of everything in terms of depreciation amounts or accumulated depreciation. This formula here. So let's go back to the slide. So therefore you have running hours 180,000 divided by total productive hours 500,000 multiplied by your depreciable amount, which is your cost minus what? Minus scrap value. So your distributable amount becomes 46,500. Your 180 divided by 500 becomes 0.36. When you multiply that out, the accumulated depreciation is 16,740,000. To get that answers the first question. The second question now says book value. Your book value, they call that is what? Cost minus accumulated depreciation. So which is this? So whatever you get, calculate that out, please. Cost minus accumulated depreciation is what? 33 million. Okay, sorry.
33,260,000.
Okay, 1 minute. So that is 33,250,000.
60.
250.
260.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, thank you. Okay, like that. That is your book value. As simple as that. Any question? Any question?
So we need an applied question, sir.
You do what?
Sir, please
We need an applied question.
You need an applied question. Okay.
Sir, please can you
Okay,
go
no
back to the
problem.
formula, sir?
No problem. Applied question. I'll give you one.
Hello, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, please can you take me back to the formula, sir?
To the formula, I will do that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, wait. Why I give you applied question? Okay. That's the formula, quick. Then we work with applied question now. I hope the person that spoke is actually speaking the mind of everybody. That is preparation, that's preparing for our exam. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Network issue, please take the formula, sir.
Done, sir.
This one says, sir, what is the unit for book value is naira. It's in naira. It's in naira. It's money. Okay, let me go back. I think we didn't put naira there. Yes, please. Yes, we are trying to say something. Go ahead.
The one you start for them, the network, I was not online for the solution. Please, maybe help me.
That's where I have challenge now. Unless if majority is saying we should go back, you know. Okay, I don't know how
the applied question.
And yeah, we'll do that. I will do that. Don't worry. I'll do that. What aspect do you want me to explain? The man that said network has been bad. Take us to the solution, sir. Okay. Well, I think we are there now. This is the solution. This is the solution. Your cost is this, you know. Let me quickly give you applied question. I will dictate the question, please. I will dictate the question. After dictating the question, if I have the grace, I might type it out on your screen. You have to write the question. I'm not mistaken. Don't do that. Okay, so can I dictate the question now?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. A plant installed 8 years ago. A plant installed 8 years ago.
8 years.
8 years ago.
Sir.
A plant installed 8 years ago.
Okay.
Was bought at a cost, an install cost, and as an install cost, make it be as an install cost of 150 million. Have an install cost of 150 million.
Okay.
The life expectancy of the plants. The life expectancy of the plants is estimated to be 30 years. It's estimated to be 30 years. With a productive hours of 8 hours per working day. 8 hours per working day. An expectation of 5 working days in a week. Are we together?
Yes, sir, we are.
Over the past 8 years, however, stop there. Over the past 8 years, however,
please repeat the question.
Don't worry, I will type. You know I'm dictating.
It's network issue.
I will type it out. Don't worry, I will type it out for you. I'm dictating. You won't allow it to flow anymore. Okay. Over the past 8 years, however, the plants have been operating at 6 hours per day for 5 working days in a week. For 5 working days in a week. The gross current reproduction cost of the plants.
The gross current.
The gross current reproduction cost of the plant. No, don't let even go to that. Cancel that line. You said you need the applied question. Okay? As at the time of purchase, exchange rate was at 200 naira to $1. But currently stands at 450 to $1.
Please come again, sir.
Don't worry, I will type it out.
450 to $1.
450 naira to $1. Currently at 450 naira to $1.
450 to $1.
Yes,
okay.
to $1. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
At the previous rate, sir.
Taking the scrap value, let's give you that scrap value. Or I introduce complication there again. Okay, don't worry. Let me ease it at that point. Okay, taking the scrap value as 10% of installed costs.
10% of
installed costs. Installed costs.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Determine the accumulated depreciation. Determine the accumulated depreciation using 1 hours of production method.
Mm-hmm.
2 straight line method.
Huh?
Straight line method.
This question is long, oh.
3.
Sir, you have to solve it with us, oh. This is more complicated.
Wait now.
This is indeed an applied question. No.
It's somebody that asks for applied
It's not
question
applied
now.
yet.
Somebody say applied question.
3. Compare your answer in 1 and 2 and establish justification.
Roberto.
Hope this is not coming out in the exam, sha.
You have to fast and pray about it too.
This one must not come out.
Sorry, I missed the
And
cost of
establish.
the equipment.
This question is too simple. There is
Please,
a way to make it more complex.
And establish what, sir?
There is a way to make it more complex. This simple.
Establish what, sir?
Don't make it more complicated.
No, sir.
So let me quickly type it out. And then, but for people that have gotten it, please hit the ground running. Start to do your calculation.
For those that have gotten it,
Sorry, please, the cost of the equipment, sir. Cost of the plant. 8 years ago. Cost of the plant 8 years ago was 150 million.
150, yes.
Okay. Naira or dollars?
Sir,
150 naira.
Cost you
A plant
is it in naira or dollar?
has an installed cost of 150,000 naira. The life expectancy of the plant
is it thousand or million?
To be, you said?
Sir, is it 150,000 or million?
150 million.
Million.
150 million, yeah.
So that we don't waste time. Okay, let me see if the one they wrote down for
Hello,
here.
sir.
Yes, please. Yes.
Why don't you type it and post it for us, sir?
That's what I'm trying to do. But
It will be better for us, sir, so that we'll get it very well, sir.
I'm trying to do that now. Don't worry. It's only that we don't have time in this class that I will right. Okay, what is that?
What do you want to play?
I hope you are seeing it. Install cost.
Yes, sir.
Of it's naira. You can see naira there. 150 million. Okay. The life expectancy. I think it's in your WhatsApp now. Handwritten one, scan one is in your WhatsApp. So you can make do with that pending when I finish typing this.
Okay. Good.
Hours of hours time. Hours per day, per working day.
Multiplied by 30
And
it's 1,200
8 hours. Oh, working day. For 5 working days.
Has been working for me.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
For 5 working days, that's what we have here. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, please. If you are to be a Yoruba man now, I would say Ekwanda. Okay.
Eight zero. Okay. What is this? Is $200. Hey.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please. Yes. And with you.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I've gotten the total productive hour and operating hour, but this exchange rate, which is 200 at $1 and now 450 at $1, will it affect the cost, the install cost?
What is the reality?
Well, sir, should it affect it? Because you are not asking us for
It will
market
affect it
value.
now.
You're not asking us for market value, are you? If you are asking us, then we'll apply it, but you're not asking for market value.
Do you know that? Do you know the essence of depreciation? In valuation, even the example we worked out the other time, I told you that you are not to use historic cost. We have to use that cost because we are not giving any clue to achieve or to obtain current cost, and we are not giving current cost. If your depreciation will be based on historic cost, why are you working from new to old? Why will you have to now be reducing the costs? You see, the essence of depreciation evaluation is okay. You want to value an asset. You have gone to do collect market data. The market data you will obtain will be of a new asset. Then your own is not new. You will now work from the figure of that new to the figure of your own that is not new. And that is by doing what? By allowing for depreciation. So please.
Man, I said, yes, please. I come from.
You don't depreciate the total cost in there. Yeah, you have. In fact, I think I have some other questions like that. I don't know if they are part of this slide.
I said it reluctantly. Hello, sir.
Please continue, sir.
Yes,
you can always have
I'm hearing you, please. I'm with you. Ah, Ekbeleo.
Who is that? That is talking also, Mr. Ekbele. Taking scrap value as what percentage? 10%.
10%.
Yes. 10% of installed cost. Of installed cost. Okay. Determine the accumulated
Hello.
Yes, please.
What did we get for total operating hours, please?
Are you asking me?
No, I'm asking my fellow candidates, please.
900 hours.
I got, wow. Is it per year? For 30 years.
That's 900 hours for total operating. While 1,200.
For 30 years.
Yes.
Wow.
How did you come about it, please? Because I'm getting something really high here.
Should it be for 30 years or 8?
It should be for 8 years now. For 8 years.
For operating hours.
Of operating.
For operating hours is 6 hours multiplied by 5 working days. For
okay, times 52 weeks.
Yes, for 32 years. 30 years.
No, it can't be for 30 years.
No, it will be with
for
week.
8 years. Because the said demand was
the weeks is we have 52 weeks in a year now.
No, yeah, we have 52
so you have
weeks
to
in a
get
year.
for a year first.
Yeah.
You have to get for a year first. After that, you times it by 8.
Times 8, and it's 62,000.
What I got here is 12.
Production
what I got here
is of 8 hours per working day. What I did was 5 times 52 times 8.
6 hours
5 times 52 times
6. Hello. Is 6 hours per working day, so to be operating hour.
That's what I'm saying. That's 30 hours per week.
Yes.
Yes, 30 times 52.
That is 6 times 5 times 52 now.
That's 260.
No, you don't. You can't get it like that. You can't get it like that.
Because
hello.
It's per week. Weekends with it. You are working multiplying.
You have already subtracted.
To get annual, you need to multiply by 52. you've got weekly.
Yes.
To now transfer to
yearly.
To yearly. That's it.
You transfer to yearly.
So
Then
me,
from there you multiply by
wait.
the
If
years.
you multiply it by 52, if you multiply it by 52, are you not multiplying the weekends with it?
Weekends.
No,
Yes.
you're not
no,
multiplying.
it's a week. It's a week. You are not
There are 5
multiplying
working
a week.
days in a week.
Come on.
They've already give you the number of working days in a week.
They have already
7
given you
days
the
in a
number of
week
working days.
makes it 52 weeks complete. You
No,
understand?
madam,
7
they've
days in a
given you
week
the
make
number of weeks already. They've given you the number of working days, and it's which is 5
okay,
days.
A
so
week
that's
already.
5, which is number of working days, which is 30 hours per day.
Yeah, you have subtracted the weekends already from that 5 days. It's
Oh God.
5 working days.
So interesting.
Times 52 times 8.
Yes, times 52. Then you now times it by 8 years or 30 years.
That's it.
12,480 hours.
Yes, that's what.
Yes, that's it. 12,480. Yes, and total productive hours. Total productive hours is 62,400 hours.
62,400 hours. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, you got it. Let's proceed.
1,400 hours. Are you multiplying that one by 12?
No, it's 8 hours times 5 in a week. Do you get it? Now you have 40 times annual, which is 52 weeks.
Yes.
2 weeks.
Then you now have hour. We have hour times 30 years, which is the total useful estimated life of the product. Do you get it?
Wait. So are we now using the 30 estimated life, or we are using the number of years that the machine has been in operation, which is 8 years?
No, this one is total productive hour, not operating hour, productive hour.
Okay.
Do you get it? Yeah. So you are considering the 30 years, which is the productive hour.
So it's going to be what?
Check your chat.
So
Just look at your chat, madam.
Yes, that's out there. That's the first one. The second one is okay. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Welcome.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Is it correct, sir?
Can we have the solution, sir, please?
Is it correct, sir?
Yes, you are of course. You are of course.
Give us the solution.
Let me just align
what give us the solution, sir.
Give us the solution.
You have to determine. You see, you have to use 2 methods here. Using straight line method is very simple. You have the age in use, which is 8 years. You have the life expectancy, which is 30 years. So conveniently, you can apply your straight line method to determine your accumulated use. The aspect of hours of production method, you will convert all the years into hours.
Okay.
Incidentally, the operating hour and the estimated productive hours per day are different, right? So now,
yes, sir.
If you are to determine the total productivity hours, what you said is at 8 hours, which is the estimated productive hours by the manufacturer, multiplied by the number of working days in a week, which is 5 days. Then multiplied by 52 weeks, that makes a year.
Okay.
That will give you total working hour in a year.
For a year.
Then multiplied by the life expectancy, number of years that the equipment can run.
30 years.
30 years. That will give you 400 as we have done.
Okay.
Now for the raw operation hour, instead of 8 hours estimated hour, the assets are being underutilized, that being operating at 6 hours.
Yes.
So you will have 6 hours multiplied by 5 working days, multiplied by 52 weeks for a year, then multiplied by the 8 years that it has been used.
I'm saying
12,480 hours.
That it has been used. So that gives you 12,480.
Yeah.
1,480.
With that, you can now conveniently calculate accumulated depreciation.
Hi.
Which will be what? Your operation hour, which is 12,480, divided by your total productive hour, which is 62,400.
340,000.
Multiply by your depreciable sum. And your depreciable sum here, you have to work on it. Your 150 million at exchange rate of 200. You first of all convert it to dollar.
Oh.
So I think that's 75,000.
You first of all reverse back to dollar. Your 150 divided by 200. What does it give you?
$750.
You will now multiply it by
55,000.
450 now to represent the current.
Please wait, sir.
Minus 10% again.
To get your depreciation sum.
Sir, the current. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Why converting it back to dollar?
2 million.
Hello, sir. Why converting it back to dollar?
Yes.
I got what is it called $750 as at 200 naira per dollar.
At 200, okay.
75,000.
750,000.
750,000. Now bringing it back to now 450 per dollar.
Please, sir, can
I
you
got
display the
337,500,000.
500.
Yeah.
Times
Yes.
0.9. Times 0.9.
Okay.
Please, sir, can you display the solution on the screen?
Minus 10%.
Let's continue the calculation.
Okay.
Sir, please display the solution for us now.
No problem, I will do. Don't worry.
Let me see.
Is it?
As I don't have the solution, I will write it out. I mean, I will use my pen to write it on the screen for you now.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, as I said, this question can still go a little more complicated than this.
So let's leave it this way.
Like, for example, instead of giving you scrap value, I can give you net realizable scrap value or net realizable sale value at the end of the life expectancy. That introduces another complication. Then again, I can equally say that assuming the operation of that asset have been at 8 hours, what will have been your answer? Okay, so all those things. Let's quickly see.
Hello.
A slide.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, for the productive hour.
Yes, well, we do.
The total answer I got now is 60,750,000.
What is that one? What does that one represent?
That is the
depreciation
amount hour. Yeah.
Accumulated
amount.
depreciation.
Yes, sir.
That is the accumulated depreciation.
Okay.
Yes.
Over 8 years.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I've not checked it, but let me quickly check.
Sir, some of us are not getting nice at all. We are just hearing the sound of everybody.
Don't worry, I will write it out. I will write it out, or I ask them to post. Okay.
Please, can we mute our mic, please?
Okay, Oga, what do you say you got?
650.
I got
Yeah.
60,750,000.
What do you call it?
60,750,000.
For your accumulated depreciation.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is your current install cost?
303. Sorry.
500,000.
If you have 150 million, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2,
150 million divided by 200.
divided by 200.
Yes,
Please, I'm
that is
lost. I'm lost.
750
I'm lost. Please, I'm lost.
times 450. So I got 337,500,000.
Yeah.
Hello, please, I'm lost. Please.
Then
What do you get? 3, what do you get?
337,500,000.
Yes. Now, when you now apply your rate of
Scrap value.
what do you get?
303,750.
303,750.
What do you mean by 303? What is 303?
303,750,000.
The scrap value is 33,750.
10% of what?
303 million.
33,750. So it will be 303,750.
That's all right.
It cannot be 303, 333, not 303, 33.
The depreciable
now.
amount
You
is
depreciate it now with scrap value. Minus
303,750,000.
it by scrap value.
Okay, no worries, please. Let's quickly, I will use pen so that I can be faster. You won't mind what you will see with my pen.
This is well.
Okay, just for the benefit of everybody, please. Let's look at the solution now. Okay. Yeah. The first thing we need to do, using hours of production. Using hours of production. Okay. We first of all calculate total
Please mute your mic, so.
Total productive hour. The total productive hour will be 8 hours, estimated 8 hours per day, multiplied by 5 days of working, multiplied by
52 weeks.
52 weeks
in
a
a
year.
year.
So that takes it to be per annum, then multiply by
30 years.
30 years. See, this thing that I wrote like this, if you really want to answer it in exam, don't do it like this. Let me give you a proper way of arranging. Arrange it like this. You will start by saying, you will say number, working hour, hours per day. Right? That will be what?
8.
Yes. Then you now say days a week.
Please, let's mute our mic. The ground noise.
That will be working days per week, 5. If you like now, you can total this. This will be what? 40, right?
Yes.
40. This 40 means working days. I'm sorry, working
Per week.
hours per week.
Per week.
Okay. You now say number of weeks in a year. Number of weeks per year. That's 52. Multiply that out. What do you have? Please do that. You now say working hours per year. Have you done that? What is it? Excuse me, 40 multiplied by 52. 40 times 52.
2,000.
2080.
2,080.
2,000.
080.
2,080.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
That is working hour in a year. You now say number of years now. As number of years. So that is what? 30. Multiply that out to get
62,000.
400. 62,400.
So this is what? Total productive hours. Okay? So you are done with this.
Don't get this.
Then permit me to move to another slide.
Yes, sir.
So now want to again calculate operation hour. Operation hours.
Hour. Yes, sir.
So for your operation hour, you still have operation hours a day. That is what? 6. Then working day per week. That is 5. That together gives us 30, right? This will be working hours per week. Okay. Then you now have numbers of weeks per year. That is what? 52. Can you please multiply that? So you will now have working hours per year. 1,000.
1,560.
Thank you. You now have number of operation year. Number of operation year. That is what? 8. Multiply that out. What do you have?
12,480.
12,480. Now this is total operation hour. Okay. So again, you are done with this. Right? So let me go to another slide again. So in this case now, do your conversion. Huh? Current installed cost. Okay. You have cost as 8 years ago. That is 150. Divided by exchange rate. Naira to 100. So this will give you what?
$750. $750,000.
Okay. $750,000. You now say multiply by exchange rate. Okay, just a current rate. That is 450. Multiply that out. What do we have?
337. 500.
500.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
500,000.
That is this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
This figure stands as current installed cost.
Yes, current cost.
Current installed
cost.
Okay. Right. So now let's go and calculate accumulated depreciation. Accumulated depreciation, therefore, accumulated depreciation. So you now have your formula, if you remember,
Operation cost.
Operation hour over total productivity hour.
Yes.
Multiply by
Cost
minus
salvage value.
Thank you. So you now have what? What's our operation hour?
It's not calculated salvage value.
Operation hour.
Operation hour is 52,400.
No, 12,000.
12,480 now.
Okay, 12,480.
480.
12,480 divided by
62,400.
400.
Multiply
Times
divided by
33 million 750. 33 million 350 750,000.
33 million. Okay.
It's 10% of
337,500,000.
No.
337,500,000.
137,000.
337,500,000.
Let's write it in full. Okay, don't worry. So this is
337
500,000.
500,000
minus
33,750.
750.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what is this one? I think is 0.2.
0.2.
Yes, sir.
0.2.
Multiply by
303
million 750,000.
03
This is 0.2.
750. Yes, sir.
750. 000.
Okay, thank you. So you multiply this out.
330.
So what is our answer now? Accumulated depreciation in this case.
330
million.
Is what? What do you get?
60 million
750,000.
60 million.
I got it.
750,000.
750. Okay, that's accumulated depreciation.
Yes.
Using hours of production.
Hours of production.
Yes. Now let's check accumulated depreciation using
straight line.
Straight line method. So you will now see the difference. What I want you to see. Okay. So you now go to accumulated depreciation.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So sorry to take you back. I don't quite understand the exchange rate part where you came up with 200 and then we went to. I'm taking notes, but I don't.
Let me explain. Let me explain. You see, if you know that we have those data in the question, right? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, the challenge is this, because that's one of the major problems of plant and machinery valuation in Nigeria. The challenge is that a lot of our assets are imported. As at the time when they bought 8 years ago, right, the exchange rate happened to be, they bought using dollar. They bought at an exchange rate of 200. So the amount they bought in dollar, when they converted it to naira, it was 150 million. Now, today our exchange rate is no more 200, it's 450. Even there's no any inflation, as we don't have any clue of any inflation, we have a clue of difference in exchange rates. It then means an asset of $1, then it would have cost 200 naira, then it will be costing 450 now.
Please, let's mute ourselves now.
Okay, thank you. So now we have a figure. Please, everybody should mute his microphone, please. We have a figure at 150 in naira. We therefore need to determine, because we need to, since we have been given clue of exchange rate, that means we need to show the effect of exchange rate on that cost to determine current costs. Now, our cost then, which was 150 million, at the rate of 200 naira to $1, we will now convert it to dollar, so that we can now apply the current exchange rate to it. To convert it to dollar, it means, for example, if you want to go mathematical, an X naira have been converted at the rate of 200 naira to $1 to give us 150 million. Let me just show you that. It means we are saying that we have a figure which we don't know yet, which is X. In terms of naira, this X multiplied by dollar of 200, I mean, a dollar rather, X is a dollar, multiplied by 200 naira is giving us 150 million naira. So we make X subject of the formula. That is by saying X multiplied by 200 divided by 200 is equal to 150 divided by 200. So this one we cancel out. You now have X is equal to 150 divided by 200, which gives us 750. By what? $750. $750. Okay? So if you want to know the naira equivalent now of these $750, okay, let me take you back. So that's where we are now, is this spot. Look at it. We are here already. So this dollar now, what is the naira equivalent of it today, given our exchange rate at 450? You multiply it with 450 to get this figure. So that is how to treat it. I hope that is clear. Now we are to see accumulated using straight line method. Hey, lot of charts. I'm coming. Straight line method now. This one is simple. Just go straight to your accumulated depreciation. You can do it by saying different means, different approaches. And you can easily say 8 years divided by 30 years multiplied by your depreciable sum as calculated before, which is what? 303. Is it 303,500 or 303,750? 303,750 as calculated before. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're here, sir.
So what do you have? What figure do you have? What's your figure for? So this is giving us 81 million. 81 million.
It's 1 million.
Okay, that is straight line method. Now compare the answer in straight line method with your answer in hours of production. What do you see that is different? Which one is higher? And why?
Straight line method.
Straight line method is higher. So why do you think it's higher? That's the justification I need you to establish. Why? Why do you think it's higher now? Is it not the same method?
Because straight line method.
Hello.
That means
wait, let's hear the voice of that lady at the background. Yes.
Using the straight line, use the same depreciable amount all through the years.
That is not justification.
Using the same amount to depreciate.
That is not even hours of production use the same amount up through per hour. So that's not the justification. Can any other person take it up?
Yes, sir. The intensity of use.
Yeah.
Yes, the intensity of use.
Intensity of use.
The hours is more exact than just
hours relate to how it is used. Intensity of use. Straight line method does not recognize that. You can see how hours of production has come to address the drawback in straight line method now.
Hello, sir. Let me see. I want to see the calculation using straight line method.
Okay, another thing you have shown you. Please, local colleague. Now assume that the machine is being used for the same 8 hours. You will realize that you will get the same answer as straight line method. Okay, so you said I should go back to the calculation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Straight line method. No, straight line method.
Intensive.
Straight line method, sir.
Okay. Let me see. Where is my straight line? Okay, this is the straight line method. Okay. So check the one that is 8 hours too for the operational hours. You see, you get the same thing. That's what I want you to appreciate there. Okay, unfortunately, we have so much to do, and our time has been so much exhausted. Wow. Okay, quickly check that one. Let's go further. Wherever we can reach, I think it should be how well, not how far. Anyway.
Yes.
It should be how well, not how far. But I was thinking that I'll be able to rush all the depreciation methods, all those 5 or 6 methods today. You know, so that because after now, I think I will have only just 4 hours more, split into 2. And we still have so much to cover. Okay. I've been seeing people chatting up here. I'm on now. Okay. Thank God. I see your calculations. Okay. Then you can equally send your solution to your WhatsApp group, please. Those that have done it properly, or I can ask one of my colleagues here to send it to your WhatsApp. For clarity purpose.
I want to suggest so that we can move faster. Say you give us a problem that we can attempt it, but then maybe during your solution, you can answer many of those other interjecting questions. So maybe we should take less questions as you teach, and then probably while you're explaining the solution, all those questions could be answered at the same time. I don't know.
Okay, no problem. That's all right.
Hello, sir.
I will suggest we have
Hello, sir. Hello. Hello,
the
sir.
house is rowdy.
Hello.
I have a suggestion.
Hello.
I have a suggestion, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Okay. I will
Go
suggest
ahead.
that everybody mute so that the way we enjoyed the previous lecture, we will enjoy it more today because the house is somehow rowdy now. Some of us did not understand better. It is those that understood that they are just on their own talking.
Okay. So let's get everybody, let everybody mute his microphone. If you have any message, send it through chats. And let's see how fast we can run. Now, I want you to see this example. If the plant in 3 above, not the last one, that first example we did, that's my example 3. If the plant in 3 above has the underlisted schedule of yearly operation hours, calculate yearly depreciation for the period of use and the book value of the plant. Let me quickly run you through the solution. I choose to bring this question up because I see this format in your Niesv study pack, and you might have that kind of question in the exam. So it will be easier for you to easily apply. You have 2 ways to answer this question. The 2 ways will give you the same answer. But the first one, don't forget that in this case now, you have been given operation hours year by year, different years, okay? And you have your total production hours, which was, I think, 500,000, if I remember. So this is the solution, right? Your depreciation base, right? Your depreciation base, when as calculated before, happened to be 46,500. That's your depreciation base, as calculated before. Now, for year 1, your depreciation charge, the amount of depreciation for year 1 will be the operation hour in that year divided by the total productive hour, then multiplied by your depreciation base, which is your depreciable sum. Okay, what you see here. Let me pick my pen. Yes, what you see here. This one is your operation hour. If you go to that year 1, it's 23,000. This is your total productive hour, which you are given 500,000. Then this is your depreciable sum or depreciation base, which is cost minus what? Cost minus scrap value. So when you compute this out, you will have this, and your depreciation for year 1 will be 2,139,000. The same thing is what you will do for year 2, year 3, up to the final year. Now, if you are to determine book value from it, you know you need accumulated depreciation. Accumulated depreciation is the sum of all your what? Accumulation of all the depreciation from year 1 to 5. So that means we had this one plus this one, then plus this one, plus this one, and plus the final figure, right? Which is this. All of these together, added together represents your what? Your accumulated depreciation. So that's what you will remove. That's what you will remove from your book value, I mean from your cost to arrive at your book value, which is now what? 32,330. This is your book value. Now, this approach, let me see if I check the other one. Okay, this is another method. Now, let me explain another way to achieve this. I want to mention this one for purpose of the exam. If you want to save time, right? what you do in this situation, if you want to save time, work with your formula here. Instead of determining your operation proportion of your depreciation, that's operation hour over productive hour. First of all, determine your depreciation per hour. Depreciation per hour. Check it out here. Depreciation per hour. After getting depreciation per hour, for all your years, you will just be using operating hour to multiply it. So you will just say depreciation per hour will be your costs minus scrap value divided by total operating hours. I mean total productive hours. Total productive hours. That will be depreciation per hour. Then now multiply by operating hours. Operating hours. So as we have varying operating hours, this figure here, the figure you will get here, will remain constant all through.
Sorry, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. Please, can you repeat the formula, the one you just said now? I missed it. Depreciation per hour, sir.
Please don't always move, so you are distracting us. You will not allow me to be moving. What I said is this. This same formula, right? Or maybe I should go to the formula sheets where I gave you the formula so that I will relate the two to be able to appreciate what we are talking about. Right here. Pass. Okay. Okay, good. Now, look at what we have here. This is the formula you are using presently. Let me delete this. This is the formula you are using presently. Operating hour, look at it. Operating hour, right, over total productivity hour. But this same formula multiplied by depreciable sum. This same formula can be rewritten as depreciable sum, which is cost minus scrap value, over total operating hour. I mean, total productive hours, sorry. Total productive hours, right? That would be a constant because you have now gotten your depreciation per hour. So for any operating hour, you just use that figure to multiply it. So it will now be multiplied by your operating hour. We will do that calculation now. You can see your operating hour. Okay, so let's go back to the slide that I used as example there. And please mute your microphone. We are hearing the sound of the voice of a baby. Yes, we appreciate that. Appreciate you have to do so. Now, so here, the first part, which is this, your cost minus scrap value, we have determined that to be what? 46,500, right? Million divided by 500,000 hours. This will be depreciation per hour of production. When you now get this, just for year one, it will be multiplied by 23,000. For year two, it will be multiplied by 30,000. For year three, it will be multiplied by 45,000. Do we have to be working through all these process all the time again? It's a way to work fast, smarter, and save time in your exam. So let's quickly do that. Can you divide 46 million? Okay, I will do that here. 46 million 500. 46 million 500. 1, 2, 3. Divided by 500,000. Okay, that gives us 93. That gives us 93 naira. That means that per hour, our depreciation per hour, right? Deep per hour of production is what? 93 naira. So if you have an hour of production of 23,000 as in year one now, you just say multiply by what? Your deep per hour, which is 93. What do you get? multiply that out. I will do it now. So I have 23,000, right? 1, 2, 3. So that gives me, right, with my own calculator, you can do your calculator too. So that
2,139,000.
2,139,000. If you look at the figure we got before, it's still what? 2,139,000. So the advantage of this is that when you get to year 2, you just use your 93 to multiply 30,000. When you get to year 3, okay, you just use your 93 to multiply 45,000. So and so and so forth like that. You will get the same answer. But when calculating it, make sure you declare your depreciation per hour first before you enter into the spreadsheet of calculating year by year. First of all, calculate depreciation per hour. So your total, your depreciation, yearly depreciation will therefore be what? Depreciation per hour multiplied by operating hour in the year. Let me open that. Let me open a slide to show you, to write that out. I think it's very important, right? When you are using depreciation per hour, you would have gotten depreciation per hour, right? So I now mean that a yearly depreciation now, as we are expected to do in that case, which is common in your workbook anyway, will now be depreciation per hour as calculated earlier, multiplied by operating or operation hour for each year. That's all. So this remains, in the case of our example, this remains for year 1, for example now. Year 1, we will have 93 multiplied by 23,000. As Abi, so that will give us a figure. For year 2, we will have 93 multiplied by, what's the figure for year 2? Is it 20 hours? Oh, 30, and the other one 45. I want to show you how fast that can be. So this one will be multiplied by 30,000. You can do simple arithmetic now. You get your answer. Then for year 3, 93 multiplied by 45,000, right? Then you will get your answer. Then for year 4, and like that. Now, if you now want to get your cumulative, which is your accumulated depreciation or total depreciation, all the depreciation you have gotten for year 1, year 2, year 3, up to year 5, or whatever year, you add them together. And if you have to get book value, you will remove them from your cost. As simple as that. So you can, this one can enable you to work smarter and faster in exam. Okay? Any question, please? Okay, let's move on. I thought I have.
I get the question back, sir.
Sir, please, I have a question.
This is the question.
The depreciated value, we subtract it from which cost? Is it the total cost here? From year 1, year 2,
this question, if you are to determine book value, right? You will, after adding all your total depreciation together, after adding them together, which is your accumulated depreciation, you will remove it. Let me write it out on this question page. Your book value will be equal to cost minus accumulated or total depreciation. Okay? Which means depreciation for the first year, for the second year, for the third year, for the 5th year, and 4th year, and the 5th year, added together. As, let's go back to the slide where I showed you. This is it here. This is it here. So all this depreciation added together, they give us 17,670,000. When you remove it from the cost, you now have 32,330. That is your book value. So let me go back to the question for people that want to write the question. So I will take this to equally represent my explanation. I will just show you the formula for unit of production so that I can move on to another topic. I mean, another method. Because unit of production follows the same, hold on please, follow the same process. The only difference is that instead of using hours, you are using productive units, unit of products. You know, that relates to the capacity, you know, and your productivity. So I will explain that. I hope this one is okay. So let me go to unit of production.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Okay. How did we get the?
How did you arrive at 46,500? We have done that before.
Sir.
Your scrap value, if I remember, your scrap value was 3.5. Your cost 50 million. You see, this question says if the plant in 3 above. So let's go and see the question. The example 3.
Okay.
That's where that one comes from. Okay, this is the one you called for. You see, if you look at this place, mute yourself. Mute yourself. You're supposed to be in the class. You are talking of somebody going back. Mute yourself, please. So this is 50 million, which is the cost. Scrap value is said to be 3.5 million. So, and you know that your depreciable sum or your depreciation base is cost minus scrap value. So if you deduct that, just like we have done in this, just like we have done here, you know, cost minus scrap value here gives this figure. Let me point to it. It gives this figure, 46,500. This figure in bracket, which is 50 million minus 3.5 million. Okay, so that is how we arrive at that. And since it is a subsequent question, you don't need to start calculating that again. That's why we said as calculated above or before. I will show you that now. I think we did that. Okay, here, you see, we said depreciation base as calculated before. That's how we got that. Okay, so if it is an original question that is not dependent on any other question, you have to calculate that. You will say cost minus scrap value to get your depreciation base, which is 50 million minus 3.5 million. Okay, to get your depreciation base. Okay, so let me quickly.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, is it possible for operating hours for all the years and then applied to the depreciation per hour? Will we get the same sum as? Is it possible for us to sum up the operation hours for all the years and then apply directly to depreciation per hour? Will that be the same sum as if we take it?
You will get the same accumulated depreciation. Let me go back there. You will get the same accumulated depreciation. If you add 23,000 plus 30,000 plus 45,000 plus 50,000 plus 42,000 together, now divided by 500, then multiplied by your depreciable sum, which is 46,500 million. You will get this figure back. Let me pick my pointer. You will get this same figure, right? But you will be missing one leg of your question. Your question says you should determine. Let's go back to that question, please. See, your question says calculate the yearly. Let me show you. Calculate the yearly depreciation for the period of use. Then and the book value of the plant. So if you just sum everything together, you will get that 17 point something. You will get the book value, right? But you will miss that leg of calculating yearly depreciation. In fact, the question can come in another way and ask you to present the table of depreciation. It might even say present the table of depreciation and book value for the respective year. You understand that? present the table of depreciation and book value for the respective year. That's a little different here. That one will take you to mean that, let's go back to that slide. That one will take you to mean that after calculating depreciation for year one, you will remove it from your costs, which will represent your book value at the beginning. Whatever you get, that's what the leftover. You will calculate your depreciation, this same depreciation for year two, you will remove it from book value. So you'll be having, you have table of depreciation and table of book value for each respective year. The book value we have here that I've explained, this book value represents the book value at the end of 5 years. This one, at the end of the 5 years. But you can have a case that the question will say, prepare a table of depreciation for depreciation and book value for the respective years. So that means each year you will calculate the depreciation and you will determine what the book value. Year one depreciation is book value. Year two depreciation, book value of year two. Year three depreciation, book value of year three, and like that. So that is why it might not be, unless if the question gives you that table, and for a question to give you the table, it is likely that they will ask you to prepare a spreadsheet, either a table showing the periodic depreciation or showing depreciation and the value, as I explained.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
On the one you just explained just now. So if they ask us to prepare the table of depreciation and book value, so for the year one, it will be the cost minus the depreciation value, right?
Of that year.
Okay. Okay, so for year two, will it be the answer we got for the depreciation of that year we used as a cost, or the initial cost?
Yes. You know, book value will continue to reduce. You are removing depreciation from it. You know, there are two ways to do that. You can come up with this table if you are careful. You can come up with this table, remove depreciation for year one, get the book value. When you get your depreciation for year two, whatever is the book value for year one, that's from where you will remove your depreciation of year two to get the book value for year two. Am I communicating?
Okay.
Okay, let me quickly do a table because I think Niesv can set that kind of question. But what I will do is that I will quickly just input. I will quickly just input the depreciation. I will calculate the depreciation. I'll just show you. I will use this depreciation figure that we have, and I'll show you, just what you have to do. Depreciation. Let me see here. Depreciation and the value. I don't know the number I will use, but let me just pick this. So over. This is not correct. Okay. Now, let's make this year. Year. Then we make this depreciation. Then we make this book value. That is in your study part. You can expect questions like that too. And you might be lucky. It will just come verbatim. I'm not giving you a result. Okay. So say year one, year two, year three, year four, and then we have year five. Our depreciation for year one, do you have it, Andy? 2 million. You don't have it, Andy. Let me check.
2,139,000.
Thank you. 2,139,000. Okay. 2,139,000. This is for year one. So from your book value here will be your cost. You have not depreciated it before. Your cost minus depreciation for year 1. So what will that give us?
Okay.
Maybe I should do that. You will now have 50 million minus 2 million 139 000. Okay.
47 million.
That will give us. Okay, permit me to just fix this.
47,861,000.
47,861,000.
61.
Yeah, so that is for year 1. Year 2, what's the depreciation for year 2?
2,790,000.
Thank you. 2,790,000. Now here you will now have this one, which is 47.
Okay.
861 000 minus this figure now, which is
2,790,000.
000. So equals to, what is that?
45 million 071.
071.
071. Yes, sir.
000.
000.
So you will continue like that. You take depreciation for year 2, year 3. Then you will remove whatever you get for year 3 from the book value of year 2. Like that. That's the way you will continue. This is one option. Another option is for you to do cumulative. Let me show you that too. Whichever is convenient for you. You can use cumulative. You can use cumulative table of depreciation. That one will not have any ambiguity. Okay, let me just insert a new slide so that there won't be any problem. Now, in this case, we have your year. You have your year. We have your depreciation. As calculated, you have to calculate it. Depreciation. Then you will now have cumulative depreciation. Cumulative. Cumulative depreciation. Then on the final note, you now have your book value. Book value. Now, the way this one will work is this. For year 1, 2139. Your year 1 is
2139.
139
000.
Cumulative will remain 139 000. So if you deduct it from cost, in this arrangement, you will be deducting cumulative from your cost. Is that your cost will remain the same, your 50 million. So you will deduct it from your 50 million. You get your, what do you get the other time? 47,681 and 861.
861.
You get 47, 861,000. Now, when you get to year 2, your year 2 is this. Your depreciation, I think, is 2,790,000. Am I right?
Yes,
sir.
it's 2,790,000.
So you now have cumulative. Cumulative here will now be this figure plus
this.
the first one. So we add the two together. Okay. Anybody doing that?
Yes.
4,900,000.
So that would be what?
3,000. 4,929,000.
Now, this is the figure you will remove from your cost. Which is 50 million. So that is the advantage of this. You don't have to be thinking of which one is book value now. To maintain under book value, you will remove your cumulative from your costs. You will remove your cumulative from your. So remove this from your. Remove this figure, please, from your 50 million. What do we have? Let's compare notes. Remove that from your 50 million.
45,071,000.
45 million.
45 million.
071.
071.
Right?
1,000.
Good. So you see that it's the same thing. So whichever is
Okay,
convenient.
sir.
So that's the way you would do if you have to prepare that table. And that can be a whole question in a
So, sir, the first.
Yes.
Sorry, the first option is called what? The depreciation.
It's the same thing. I only use two different process to arrive at the table. You know, in this first one, right? We do not have a column for cumulative. So we are reducing our book value. Do you get it now?
Yes,
we are
sir.
reducing our book value. But in the second one, we've maintained our cost, but we cumulate our depreciation. So whichever is convenient.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir. So after using this method now, to get our book value, we just add all the
we are not adding anything
value together.
No.
So the final figure at the end of, run this table for 5 years, please. You will realize that at the end of 5th year, what we get under your book value here will be what I got here. Okay, maybe we should quickly do it, please. Which one do I do? The first one or the second one?
The first one.
The first one.
Okay.
The first one.
So let's go to what's the position for year 3? Do you have it?
4,185,000.
4,185,000. 185,000. Okay. Now remove that from your book value here. You are not adding anything. Thank you that you raised that question. Minus the 4,185,000. So what do we have? Have you removed it?
40 million.
40.
40,886,000.
886,000.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Then for the 4th year, what's the calculation for the 4th year?
4,650,000.
4,650,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now your book value as before. Now you bring it down. 40,886. Minus 4,650,000. Okay, that will give us what?
36,236,000.
36,236,000.
236. Yes, sir.
Then for the final year, what's it?
3,906,000.
906.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then remove it from 36, 236, Abi?
Yes, sir.
36. 1, 2, 3. Minus 3906, comma 000. Okay, that is equal to, yeah, what's the answer?
32 million. 330,000.
330,000. Okay, so let's go to that figure now. What do you have here?
32,330,000. Wow.
So you can see.
Wow.
Wow.
Amazingly amazing.
Wow.
Really? Okay, thank you. So that is, so when you prepare this table, your final figure here actually gives you the book value at the end of each year. Just like each of them is giving you book value at the end of each respective year. That's what it is. So,
wow.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So let's quickly see.
Sir, I want to ask a question, please.
Please, go ahead.
What's the essence of this table? Like, is it supposed to be time saving? Because you still need to go through the process of calculating for depreciation before you even start here. So is it just for knowledge sake?
Well, incidentally, if it is for practice, right? If it's for practice, you won't need to generate this thing, because you know all you need is to value the property in its existing state as at the time of your valuation. So it's the accumulated depreciation that you actually need. But you see, in the course of exam, there are a series of ways of testing the students' knowledge. For example, what led me to completing this table is a gap in knowledge. That shows to me that maybe some of us do not really understand what all these figures, this last figure, let me put it, each of these figures, what they represent. So if you see examiners setting this type of questions, for candidates to find it refreshing and to be able to appreciate the in-depth knowledge of the candidate. You know, if you are not exposed to this, you don't even know that the color of this is book value. You don't even know, right? Book value at the end of third year, book value at the end of fourth year, book value at the end of fifth year, and so on, right? So that's why for exam it can come in different forms. And I'm emphasizing this because incidentally, it's in your study pack. And beyond that, I think I've seen one question like that before. It said prepare depreciation for year 1, year 2. I think up to 4 years. You know, I was like, you people will not allow me to set questions. I would have said, let me set about 30 questions and send to my with model answers. So that we will not have cause to be testing you on clearing table of depreciation. Anyway, that is that. But you can find it in your exam. We are talking about exam here. Okay. So let's go to units of production, or what we call productivity method. Unit of production is equally a constant sum method. It's very simple, just like your hours of production. The only difference is that now you measure your depreciation based on unit of product, based on unit of production, based on units of products that the equipment or the plant can produce, as measured from its capacity. As a matter of fact, every plant will have the maximum productivity that it can deliver during its life expectancy.
There's an echo in the background.
Because people are not muted, so there's a feedback.
So
Everybody must mute.
Everybody must mute.
Okay, thank you. And let's appreciate the person that are sticking to that call. Thank you. Okay, now, so it follows the same process, but for every plant, if before they can tell you that life expectancy of a plant is so years, they have looked at the hour of operation, they have looked at its capacity to produce, they have looked at, the kind of movement in the equipment, how many cartons or tonnage it can produce. And they will now reduce that, okay, if it can produce, let's say 1 million tons, for example, these 1 million tons, if they are producing at, let's say, 2 tons per hour, how many hours will it be? Then they will reduce everything and come out with life expectancy. So what unit of production is doing is that it's now looking at the overall total capacity, the productive capacity of the plant. So that's what I call total production here. The productive capacity. That's this total production here. Maybe I should pick my pen. Okay. So now with that, you can determine when you determine the total, when you find the rate 1 over total productivity, that will give you, by the time you use it to multiply your depreciable sum, you are getting your depreciation per unit of product produced. Depreciation per unit of product produced. So it means if they say it has produced so cartons, therefore, you just use it to multiply the number of cartons. As simple as that. Let me show us. What I've said is that at this point, this will give us the rate. This is the rate per unit of production, right? Per unit of production. That is per unit, either measured in carton, in bottle, in sachets, as the case may be, or even in units, okay, per unit of production. Now, when you have this, to work fast, you can reduce this formula to the same thing as I did the other time. Your cost minus scrap value divided by your total productivity. Total productivity. Okay? Divided by total productivity. Multiply by number of units produced. That is production in a period. Production in a period. Multiply by number of units produced. Okay? This will give you your accumulated depreciation. This area will give you depreciation per unit. Depreciation per unit. Depreciation per unit. Okay? So when you get depreciation per unit, the moment it produces 1 unit, you know the depreciation for it. So if it produces 1 million units, just use 1 million to multiply it. Okay, that is as simple as that for productivity or unit of production methods. It follows the same process as hours of production. But your unit of measurement now is what? Per unit of production, not per hour of production. Then your input will be based on what? The capacity, estimated capacity, productive capacity of the plants. Productive capacity of the plants. Okay, if I have time, with 1 or 2 of the candidates I have around me, I might send questions, on this to you, so that you use that to practice. That will be posted to your WhatsApp. I'll give it to one of you, and
thank you, sir.
They'll post it to your WhatsApp.
Thank you,
so
sir.
that is thank you so much. That is a unit of production. Now, with this, we have come to the end. We have come to the end of what we call constant sum methods or fixed sum method. The next phase is to go to what we call accelerated depreciation method. Accelerated depreciation method. And I need to tell you, that one, constant sum method they are simple methods. When you are talking of real method that can challenge, that is a little mathematical, then accelerated depreciation methods can be considered as such. They are a little complex, just little, not that it's too difficult. Okay, but it involves little more complex than constant sum. So let's open it up, even though we cannot go far today. I think my time is fast spent. This is what we call reducing balance method. Under accelerated method, we have reducing balance method, we have double reducing balance method, and we have a sum of years digits. We have sum of years digits. Maybe I should stop here. Let me ask. Let me hear it from you. I have just about 5 minutes more. There's nothing we can really do. So, any question? Do I have anything on chat?
Oh my God.
Sir, you've done well. Thank you so much. You're a good
You're
teacher.
doing well, Zao.
You've done well.
Thank you so much, sir. I really love your teaching, sir.
You are a good teacher, sir. Thank you so much.
You're a very good teacher. Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, your presentation and the slide are excellent.
Yes, you've done your best.
Thank you,
We
sir.
appreciate you.
Amen. Thank you. I appreciate you too. I wish you the best in the exams.
Yes, what you can do for us now, please package those questions and give to our colleagues that are with you so that they can send them to us through WhatsApp, please.
No problem.
Please, please.
I'll do that. No problem.
Okay, we won't mind if you can even give us extra time, like beyond the 4 hours left.
There is no way we can do that.
Anyway, God will see us through.
Now. We have another class, right?
Niesv,
No, let
there is break by 1 o'clock.
Niesv has scheduled the time within that 2 weeks, and the platform, the online platform is filled up. If not, well, it would have been a great pleasure, because what matters is whatever we can do to support ourselves. But we don't have that grace with the schedule of lecture we have. So I want to thank you and appreciate each and every one of you. I wish you the best. Please practice what we have done. If I have the time, I'll come up with more other questions for you to work with. Next time will be Saturday by the grace of God. I do hope that time we'll be able to move a little faster than we did today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So much, sir.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Regards to family,
I
sir.
appreciate it.
My pleasure, sir. Thank you.
So you've not completed the accelerated differentiated method, though?
We have not started.
We have not even started.
We have not started.
Guy, you dey what?
What time is the next class, please?
He says you gotta read it.
Try to calm down.
Next class is
Be calming down.
What time is the next class?
Saturday.
Okay, sir.
By the grace of God.
Saturday.
Yes, by the grace of God.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You mean Saturday for the next class? Or
Plant and machinery. Plant and machinery evaluation is Saturday.
okay. But
Yeah, it's plant and machinery.
the next class is what?
It's 2
We have
o'clock.
next.
2 o'clock.
Legal studies.
And what do we have?
Legal studies.
Okay, legal studies. No, it's not for.